didn't see you there. It's Steve Dangle here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel for this little thing that we call Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. You caught me in the middle of looking at the NHL standings and, this is a low point. This is a low point for the Leafs over the last 2 weeks. No longer first place in the entire NHL. They have to settle for simply second in the entire NHL. Oh, even worse, tied for second with the Calgary Flames. Winners of 5 straight and also tied for the hottest team in the league with a 9-1 record over the last 10 games. But who's counting? Woo! Toronto Maple Leafs on a bit of a heater, but no small task in front of them. The Minnesota Wild, who, if they were to beat the Leafs in regulation tonight, would tie the Leafs in as many games. They're 6th in the entire NHL, and it's not going to be easy for the Leafs tonight on account of there's some bumps and bruises. Ondrej Kase was a game-time decision. He's going to play. Morgan Rielly was a game-time decision. He's going to play. Mitch Marner, Mitch Marner, not in the lineup. It's not looking good for tomorrow either because the Leafs play tomorrow. Mitch Marner collided with Jake Muzzin in practice yesterday, so he's not playing. So here's the Leafs lines as it stands. Actually, before we get to that, I do want to tell you about a little something, because if you're ever not able to watch the Leafs game with me here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel, you can watch it on Sportsnet Now. So if you want a little Sportsnet, oh, look at that graphic right there, just like that. Sportsnet Now, go to snnow.ca and use the promo code DANGLE20, but you got to shout it, all caps, DANGLE20, and that way you get 20% off for the first 3 months of Sportsnet Now. Once again, snnow.ca, promo code DANGLE20. So here's the Leafs lineup for tonight. Jack Campbell in net, you knew that. Defense, Liljegren's not in the lineup. You can basically picture that. Riley Brody, Muzzin Hall, Sandine Dermott. Okay. Up front, Bunting, Matthews, Simmons. Well, okay. Second line stays intact. Kerfoot, Tavares, Nylander. Third line kind of stays intact with Kase back. Engvall, Kampf, and Kase. And then the fourth line is Richie, Spezza, and Joey Anderson, with Mitch Marner out, is able to stay in the lineup. That and Kirill Semyonov is no longer a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. I don't know if you saw that. He's put on waivers for unconditional contract termination because it wasn't going to work out here. Leafs acquire Kyle Clifford, and you kind of see the writing on the wall. Ilya Mikheyev is going to come back soon. So I've seen a lot of people panicking because Wayne Simmons is not Mitch Marner. I don't know if you know that. Simmons has actually played really well. The Leafs were good all of November, and I thought Simmons was too. He's got goals in, I think, 2 straight games. He's only got 3 goals on the season. He should have way more. He's played so well. If I were a betting man, I think Kase is going to get some first-line shifts tonight. I wouldn't be surprised to see Richie in there. I wouldn't be surprised to see Spezza. I think it'll be a bit of a rotation. I don't think the Leafs are going to roll 4 lines here on the road in Minnesota. Or the other option is, like, that's an ideal scenario. I think Sheldon Keefe would like to do that in an ideal scenario. But because the Leafs play tomorrow against the Winnipeg Jets, maybe you're stuck and you got to roll 4 lines and see how you do. It's going to be a good test for the team no matter what. Minnesota Wild lineup: Greenway, Eriksson, Ek, and Foligno. Kaprizov. Did you see my dog walking in the background? Hey, buddy. Kaprizov, Hartman, Zuccarello, Fiala, Rask, Pitlick, Duane, Sturm, Bjugstad. On the back end, Brodin, Dumba, Merrill, Goligoski, Ben, Kulikov, and in net, Cam Talbot. So, There is that. Hey, chat, I'm going to remind you to click like and subscribe, and also tell all your friends. Mostly click like, mostly click subscribe, and mostly tell all your friends. But in the meantime, before puck drop, we can answer some questions from the Chitty Chat. Tyler, what's the impact of having no Marner tonight? You know, it's a shame because I feel like his last few games were really good. Going to the net, really confident, creating some really interesting plays. So the Leafs are going to have to play a style that represents the fact that Mitch Marner is not in the lineup. They're going to have to crash the net. And I don't think Sheldon Keefe is going to have a problem with that because that's what he wants the team to do anyway. And it's something Mitch Marner has actually, I've noticed, worked on. He's been getting better at it as the season has gone on. And it's a shame with him finally starting to do as well as Mitch Marner can, that he's out of the lineup. Very interested to see how Matthews, who just scored a hat trick the other night, does against... I'm curious to see how he does, A, without an elite playmaker on his line, and B, against a goaltender not named Jonas Johansson. No offense, Drew. Producer Drew, that was a tough game for him. He paid money to be there. Avalanche fan. Whew. F in the chat. F in the chat for Producer Drew. Josh, should we panic about this lineup / injury? No. They're second place. No. Tom, who starts in net tomorrow? Not Jack Campbell is my answer. Joseph Woll is day-to-day. Hutchinson is backing up tonight. Even though Woll has been good, really I don't see a reason to, like, what are we rushing him back for? Just play Hutch. Second half of a back-to-back. What are you going to do? I know a lot of you will grimace at that. Wolves played 3 games. One of them was a shutout. One was bad. You know. Hutch is capable of playing good goaltending. We've seen him do it. It's just we've seen him be bad a lot. But at the end of the day, like, Leaf fans keep going, oh, yeah, but it's only November. Oh, yeah, but it's only December. Well, okay, by that logic, you don't sweat about playing your backup in early December, you know? Andrew, who scores first? Ooh. Team or player? Justin Hall gets his first point of the season with a goal in his hometown, in his home state, Minnesota. Ben, who are you betting on to score first? What? Okay. Any former Leafs on Mini? Are there any former Leafs on Mini? I don't think so. No. So I guess, sorry, to answer... Maybe I mixed those up. Andrew, to answer your question, the Leafs. Ben, to answer your question, Justin Hall. There we go. I did good. Ben. Nope. Josh. Oh, my God. I'm out of practice, eh? After the California road trip, they take a bit of a break. Josh, why don't they put Nylander back with Matthews? This causes the least amount of disruption. You know what I mean? The Tavares line has been good. Leave it together. There's no reason to break it up. Bunting, you know what? It's not just Matthews has been good recently, so is Bunting. This is a test. I don't think there's anything wrong with the test. And also, I mentioned that I think Kasha could play a couple first-line shifts. On the road, I think Keefe is going to want to use that line pretty heavily. Probably match up against Kaprizov, I would imagine. So that's probably what they're going to end up doing. Sean, your headphones are on the wrong way. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're on the wrong way from how I wear them the wrong way usually. I don't know why I like the cord being on this side, but it's the opposite of here. I can even show you. No, that's the camera. Where is it? This is very confusing. Shut up, I'm right. Ooh. Keen, should Jack Campbell make the All-Star game? I mean, geez. We're talking about him making the Olympics. I would think he should at least make the All-Star game. Leads the league in wins. He's got to be up there in save percentage. Only thing about a player like Jack is we're talking so much about load management, and for him to go to the All-Star game and the Olympics, like, is that not a little concerning? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Who's the gust tonight? I think producer Drew spelled guest wrong. It's Ailish Forfar. We hosted a show together about a calendar year ago. Oh my God. How is that possible? It was right here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel, but she ditched me. She said, you go do your little streams, Steve. I'm going to be co-host of the morning show on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. She's on there with JD Bunkus and Blake Murphy. So Ailish Forfar will be joining us for the second period. Is she our first guest who has a hockey DB page? I think she is. I think so. Matthias, thoughts on Tkachuk being bit? So, I don't know if you saw my Dang It's video this week, but it was quite something. The 5-game suspension to Brendan Lemieux is a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke because if you haven't seen the video, or my video, I should say, I'm sure you've seen Brady Tkachuk holding up his hand and pointing at the bloody teeth mark on his hand. Brendan Lemieux wasn't suspended for that. There's video footage of him biting Tkachuk's left hand. He was suspended for that. But in the video, they acknowledged they didn't have sufficient evidence or whatever that he bit Tkachuk multiple times. As if the bloody teeth marks was not enough. So what I argued in the video, biting is bad. You shouldn't do it, and whenever you do it, you should be punished. But as we get ready for puck drop, I understand it happening once in the heat of battle. You should still be punished for it, but I can understand having it happen once. But multiple bites? One bite is biting. 2 bites is eating! Brendan Lemieux attempted to eat Brady Tkachuk. That's how I feel about it. Cam Talbot only has 12 wins. Can you imagine? Could never be Jack Campbell. Could never be. Okay, selfishly, and I'm going to let you in on this, and I'm going to pretend like you care. I have Kaprizov and Marcus Foligno on my fantasy team. A lot of guys in my fantasy team started slow. And you know what? It was not really talked about. But Kaprizov, holy smokes, the shots are already 94-0 for Minnesota. Get it together, Leafs. What happened there? Anyway, Kaprizov started really slow. But he's already got, like, I want to say at least 3 4-point games. The Leafs start with the Tavares line, which I guess in absence of Mitch Marner is the de facto first line.
After it goes Nylander, but Kaprizov arrived first, and both teams start their initial change. And over the boards comes Michael Bunting along with Austin Matthews, and again it's Wayne Simmons riding shotgun in place of the injured Mitch Marner.
Whoa! Here comes the Wayne train. Told you.
He had a collision with Jake Muzzin in practice.
Told you. Bang and crash. That's going to be the style tonight.
One of the hot Maple Leafs, 3 assists against Colorado and on a 5-game point streak. Morgan Riley was a question mark earlier in the day, but reports for duty tonight. And there's Jonas Brodin from Minnesota.
Hartman's had a kind of underrated season.
Who flips it down and a tough hop fielded by
If there's a player on the Minnesota Wild, you can almost guarantee they're underrated just because they sort of get ignored. Oh, so this is what happened at practice. They don't really show the collision, but Mitch and Muzzin obviously colliding. Kind of impossible to know what happened. The Leafs 6-9-2 since 16-17 without Marner in the lineup. I'm honestly surprised he was out of the lineup that often. I feel like he fractured ribs. Was it his second season? I want to say it was the Marlowe season. Oh boy. Yeah, I think this line right here is going to see a lot of ice.
Behind the Minnesota net, and they continue to battle for it.
I like Kampf basically taking a break from a puck battle to yell at his line mate.
It comes along the boards. Kasha plays it back. Kampf's got it to Engvall.
I've always wondered this. If Kampf and Kasha, or any players who are from the same country, I always wonder if they communicate in the same language on the ice as a way of hiding their intentions.
Line gets a look with Joey Anderson going up with Spezza and Ritchie. The spot that Simmons was in goes to Anderson.
Leafs 7-game win streak matches a franchise best. One more and a new record. There is Joey Anderson.
Joey Anderson is a guy I want to get going. He's had a hard time getting in the lineup, obviously, but the team really likes him. They traded Andreas Janssen for him straight up. And he's actually played a decent little chunk in the NHL. Granted, it was with the Devils, who were pretty bad when he was on the team. But he's really not old at all. And I don't know if a player is beneath the AHL. I wouldn't say beneath, but I think he's a player who, in order to get better, especially because he's a forward, defenders you can let marinate a little bit more. As a forward, I think Joey Anderson needs to be in the NHL playing games. Or not almost giving the puck away. Killing me, Joey.
Kerfoot plays it in behind the Minnesota net. Tavares on the forecheck, but the Wild move it ahead. And here is Kaprizov. Rink wide, great stick to knock down that pass intended for Hartman by Nylander. Hartman got it back, centers it. It'll come back to Brodin.
Ooh!
That was blocked by
Big block by Brody.
Zuccarello feeds the point. Here's Matt Dumba. Dumba shot with traffic, and Campbell.
Ooh, who's that down in front?
Hit Hartman, who
I think that was a little bit of friendly fire. He got hit by his own teammate's shot. That's Ryan Hartman, who has been here, there, and everywhere in the NHL. It looks like he's finally found a home here in Minnesota. Big block by Brody. Let's take a look at what happened to Hartman. Well, that's not it.
Right on the doorstep, the second chance was Hartman, as you mentioned.
Dumba.
Take a little bit of that hit there as Tavares.
Oof. I don't know if that got him on the inside of the ankle or...
Looking for some kind of rebound there.
He didn't get cowbelled, did he?
Won by the Wild. It'll come back to Jordy Penn. His shot off target. Jake Muzzin moves it for Engvall. Trying to swing away from Brandon.
So, Leaf fans, here's what I think you're looking for here.
Merritt Centennial.
Because it's a big test. Leafs are in second in the NHL. Minnesota's in sixth. But the Leafs really do have every reason to lose this game. They're on the road. They have not played a ton this week. I think their second most recent game was Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say they played Sunday, didn't play till Wednesday against Colorado. That game was a mess. And now they're playing Minnesota. I think there's a fine line between fresh and rusty. They're on the road, and they don't have Mitch Marner. So this is a big test for them in more ways than one. And, you know, you guys were talking about, you know, oh, should Nylander be playing with Matthews tonight? I would like to see Matthews take over. And it's not like he didn't take over last game. Dude just had a hat trick. I get it. But at least 2 of those came from sick Marner assists. Matthews is an excellent finisher. And we know he's a great creator, too. There's him creating a little bit. We need to see him create tonight. That's very important. He can do a lot of things. We know he can finish. He finished the other night. We know he can create. We need him to finish tonight.
Who's had great chemistry with Marner and Matthews, but that's probably one he should have taken. It wasn't dropping it back to Marner, who could make a play. I think it really surprised Simmons as he's just early on here trying to get in, trying to get some bodies and get comfortable in that position.
Dangle throws it to center. Rasmus Sandin's got it there. Great pass. Spezza's loose. Winds it up and misses the target. And back the other way. A quick counter.
Leafs doing a good job having at least 2 guys back, but this is a 3-on-2. Big stop by Soup. Oh my God, what happened there? That's Nick Ritchie down in the corner, but he's up. Little stutter shot. Speaking of guys who it'd be nice if they scored, there's a stat, I think it's expected goals, and it's basically based on how you've performed, how many goals you should have. And if I'm not mistaken, by that metric, oh, big stop by Soup. By that metric, I want to say it's either Dom Lecision or Jay Fresh Hockey who has this stat. Maybe it's Money Puck. Nick Ritchie is the least lucky player in the NHL. He has 0 goals, but by metrics, I believe he should have 4. Which 4 wouldn't be great either for a $2.5 million player, but I think fans would at least leave him alone, if that makes sense. 0, we go, oh my God, the guy's snake bit, and 4, we're like, it's a little slow. For example, how many goals does Michael Bunting have? Off the top of your head? I don't know, but you know he's doing well. I believe he had 3 assists the other night, too.
Who scored in the last win by Minnesota. Sent down the ice. Campbell slowed it down for Brody. And now it's Kasha back to get it. Chased there by Kaprizov.
I was seeing Minnesota out shooting the Leafs 4-1 so far, and I was trying to think, is this the Leafs doing what they did earlier in the season, where they have the puck a lot and they just don't shoot it? I don't think that's what's happening so far. I think it's just Minnesota outplaying them. Which, again, it's not mind-blowing. Minnesota's the home team. The Leafs don't have Marner. That's a tough go. Big block. Minnesota's already taken a couple painful-looking blocks. As we finish our night coffee. This was a great passing play, and it was Fiala. Oh, I thought Campbell got that with a glove. It looked like his helmet. Remember, I can't hear the broadcast, so if I'm repeating what they're saying, that's why. As we head to our first commercial break here on Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Oh my goodness, you know what? Let's go on Twitter. We're going to go on Twitter. And we are going to retweet the fact that we are doing this. All right? Let's get back to your questions. Okay. I'm going to upset some people with this. I'm going to upset some people with answers to both of these. So, Asen, can Toronto keep up this run the rest of the season? Well, no. And let me tell you why. This isn't me being pessimistic. This is me telling you that the Toronto Maple Leafs just had the best November in their over 100 years of playing hockey. They can be good. They can be great. They could even win the President's Trophy, and they would still not keep this up. This is almost the best they've ever played, if that makes sense, from a pure result standpoint. So do I expect it? They're 9-1-0 in their last 10. Only one other team has done that, and it's the Rangers. That might drop off in a hurry with Shesterkin potentially out of the lineup. So can they stay in the top 5? I think so. Can they keep this up? No. Holy mackerel. That graphic really shows how good the Leafs have been. And the other one that's going to upset you, Gerard. Steve, do all 3 Spider-Men show up in Spider-Man No Way Home? Unpopular opinion. I am... Whoa! Michael Bunting almost getting one. Sorry. Maybe I shouldn't talk about Spider-Man. I was making fun of the Capitals for talking about McNuggets in the middle of a goal against in the latest Dangles video. Maybe I should... maybe Spider-Man is my McNuggets. As Matthews almost capitalizes on a rebound. The Leafs getting a little bit of a flurry here as they go offside. I am all Spider-Man'd out. All right? I was not a huge fan of the Tobey Maguire ones. And that is going to upset some people. I have not seen the Tom Holland ones. And here's why, okay? You're allowed to remake movies, all right? When I was a kid, we had the Batman movies. And I'm not going to lie to you. They were kind of bad. It's not that they were kind of bad. It's that they got worse as they went along. But then they waited a really, really long time before they made some new ones as Muzzin blasts it. Muzzin has to score tonight. He hurt Marn. When I was a kid, they had the Batman movies. They got worse. They waited a long time, and then they made some more. And they were really good, and they got better. They were really good. But then, sometime around, like, I don't know, I think it was like 2007, they just decided we can remake whatever we want whenever we want. They made a Hulk movie, and like 2 years later, there was another Hulk movie with a different Hulk. And they just pretended, don't worry, that first one never happened. Tom Holland, I talked about Tobey Maguire. There was another Spider-Man who was the full-time Spider-Man in between Tobey Maguire and Tom Holland. But everyone really likes the Tom Holland ones because apparently they're really good. Did they think that was icing? But I haven't seen them because I'm like, guys, there's no element of surprise in Spider-Man movies. I know the story. I know the story because I've seen it 40 times.
This is I like the mindset that Sheldon Keefe has, especially with Marner gone. You're gonna have to play.
Let me guess. He has an uncle at the beginning of the movie, and then he doesn't. Like, oh, spoiler. So I know I'm losing a lot of you because it's very popular, and Tom Holland is extremely popular, and all that. They burned me out. They burned me out, man. Get in there, Joey. Get in there, Joey. What's funny about Joey Anderson is when the Leafs acquired him, they talked about him being like a Zach Hyman style player. And as he was charging into the corner there, I was like, that's that Zach Hyman choppy stride. He like skates with his wrists. I'm not dissing him. It's an observation. I would never diss him. He's obviously really good. Oh, I am told in a text the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies aren't based on any of the others, and no, he has no uncle in them. Well, never mind. And Drew said those movies start after Uncle Ben. Wow, he goes, thanks though. Go watch Voldemort swing a stick at Harry Potter. Wow! No, okay, you don't get to say that. You don't get to say that. They made 7 Harry Potter movies, but if Harry Potter were in the Spider-Man universe, they would have made another 7 movies 2 years later, followed by another 7 movies like 3 years later, and then your friends would look at you sideways for being like, what, you haven't seen all 21 Harry Potters? No! No, I haven't! You get one crack at this. One. And then you gotta wait like at least a decade and a half before you do it again.
I think many, and already we've seen a few on a couple of lines.
There's Matthews creating a turnover, just knocked away from Simmons, but here's Morgan Riley moving up.
Oh, are we gonna get our first penalty of the game? I think we are. High sticking on Minnesota. I didn't see who that was who got high stick, but they got it right in the chops. Oh, Drew says 8. Yes, it was 8 Harry Potter movies. 7 books. You know what I meant. Shut up. That's even worse! Have you seen all 24 Harry Potters? No! Morgan Riley getting it right in the chops. As we go to commercial break again, and I scream about cinema. Leafs have an opportunity to grab the lead here. Let's go with some more of your questions here. Danny, was keeping Hall in the expansion draft the biggest mistake the Leafs have made this season? Well, okay, so here's what happened. People talk about the Leafs protecting Kerfoot over Jared McCann. That is not what happened. They were always going to have to expose one of them. If I'm not mistaken, what they could have done is protected one of them. They could have protected McCann, or they could have protected Kerfoot. But instead, they chose to protect Justin Hall. By doing that, they essentially make peace with the fact that, okay, we're going to lose one of McCann or Kerfoot. One replaces the other. Whatever Seattle chooses. Seattle chose to take Jared McCann. And he's doing really well. You see what defensemen out there are getting. So the idea of keeping Justin Hall, who played on their shutdown pair all year last year, did a good job against McDavid, team finished first place. Keeping him for $2 million seemed like the savvy choice. Boy, he has not been good, though. Jared McCann has been really good. And the shame of it all is Kerfoot's actually been really good, and Leaf fans are not giving him his due. Where's he at? Not Jared McCann. Alex Kerfoot would be leading the Islanders in scoring. If I'm not mistaken, the Leafs have 8 guys who would be leading the Islanders in scoring. Kerfoot has 16 points, 4 goals, 12 assists. Holy cow. I didn't know that. He leads the team in plus minus with plus 13. Anyway, yeah, it ended up being a mistake. But then you have Liljegren in the lineup every night, Dermott in the lineup. Whoa! Big shot from Matthews. Dermott in the lineup every night, and if one of them gets hurt, then what? I don't hate that lineup totally healthy, but if you look around the league, totally healthy is a lot to ask for. What on earth was that? Faraz, who was on the trade block? Justin Hall, unfortunately. You got to get something for him, though. And I just don't really see how trading him makes much sense. Like, if you're a team who's willing to trade for Justin Hall, are you going to give the Leafs something they're interested in? They don't need a left shot defenseman or a defenseman who plays the left side. They're just going to need a right side defender to replace Hall with as the Leafs second unit comes onto the ice. So what are we going for here? Dermott as like a 6'7" is actually kind of valuable as a guy who can play both sides. Oh! Rebound in front. Richie making the sacrifice. Unpopular opinion. They're in second place and don't have to trade anybody. As Justin Hall gets the dregs of this power play. Yeah, Leafs not looking too dangerous or too bad. Bit of a mediocre power play there. As at least they've held Minnesota to 4 shots for quite some time now. Oh, I believe that Spezza taken over Marner's spot on the power play, which makes a lot of sense. Oh, it was Bunting who went down in front of the net. Oh, he looks pretty upset. He didn't leave the game, did he? Oh, yes he does. Hopefully it's just for equipment repairs. There have been some gruesome block shots so far in this game. Minnesota's already blocked 5, and that doesn't even count the one that stung Hartman because it was from his own teammate. And it doesn't count the one from Bunting because that was from his own teammate. Oh, interesting. First man down, so Talbot played it away. And now the Wild look up ice. Bruce Wayne, let Steve know we love him. I love you too. Bumped along the boards and the puck got by him and out. Friend. Now Kaprizov. Zuccarello will sorry about that thing in the alley, Bruce. It's not your fault. Hayden, why aren't the Leafs playing Liljegren? They hate him. So the Leafs have a juiced line out here right now because... Actually, why do they have that? I was about to say because they just killed a penalty, but they didn't. So I guess this is Sheldon Keefe's way of making up for the fact that Marner is not in the game. Anyway, sorry. To seriously answer your question, they don't have Liljegren in the lineup because Sheldon Keefe is being honest. He's just rotating. It's basically rotating him and Dermott. I think Sandin is sat once or twice. To me, he's playing too well to sit. As Minnesota gets a chance here. Ooh, almost shoveled in. Oh, that could have been good. As Minnesota is getting a little bit of zone time here. The puck's pinging around. Spezza gets a nice zoney. 6 zoney, bud. Nick Ritchie with the Kapanen spin and fire. Spezza in front to the back of Ritchie. He'll get one. Man, Dermott's something. I don't think I've ever seen anybody who plays hockey the way that guy plays hockey, man. I can't tell you if it's good or bad. I can tell you everything he does with skill, even the bad stuff. And if you're a Leaf fan, you know what I'm talking about. If you watch Game 6, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Too soon? It'll always be too soon. The other day I was looking at the standings. The Leafs were in first, the Habs were in 29th, and it made me physically ill. Like, I know I should just be happy, but I was just like, I will never forgive you. I will never forgive you. Oh! I'm not sure how that one stayed out. I'm not sure how the Leafs aren't getting a penalty either. Oh, Justin Hall taken down there. That's not a hold? Thought there was a little bit of a hold on the way down. Oh, Jack Campbell's been sharp. He hasn't faced a ton of shots, but they've been pretty difficult. Minnesota's buzzing toward the end of this period here. They were really good off the top. Great pass from Simmons. Oh! That would have been sick. Oh, Matthews getting the worst of that hit. And Bunting, who is back on the ice, they didn't like that hit. Yo, Greenway's big. I don't like that fight for Bunting. What is this? Who's this, Foligno? Foligno coming in to fight Wayne Simmons instead of Greenway, right in front of the Wild bench. Get out of there! Get out of there! Who are you touching? Get your glove out of there! I don't hate that fight at all. If you're going to have Wayne Simmons up on the top line and someone's going to hit Austin Matthews, I don't hate that at all. How does that 5-minute fighting major affect my fantasy? I'm pretty sure you lose points for penalties. Shoot. It wasn't a dirty hit or anything. It was just stiff. That's Simmons jumping in because Greenway would kill Bunting. And that's Foligno jumping in because Greenway is a really good player. But also so is Foligno. I don't know. I don't know how many fights Greenway has under his belt as, my goodness, this episode of Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle is getting spicy, everybody. If you want some more of that spicy hockey content, you click like and you click subscribe and you tell all your friends, everybody, as we go to your questions from the chat. Brazil News. Obrigado for the question, by the way. Would you rather keep Kasha or get Connor Brown back? Okay. Really unpopular opinion, I think, because Leaf fans love Connor Brown, and I love Connor Brown. Right now, I would rather have Andre Kasha. And I'll tell you why. Here, let me look up capfriendly.com. Connor Brown's a really good player. He might even be the better player. But he's 27 years old. He makes $3.6 million against the cap. I thought it was more than that. He makes $3.6 million against the cap. Andre Kasha, on the other hand, is on a $1.25 million contract with the Leafs. And what's awesome is when this contract is up, which is this summer, he's going to be an RFA. He's 26. He's only 1 year younger than Brown. But just the fact that he's an RFA at the end of this deal, he could have an excellent season, and I don't think he would get more than Connor Brown. So the Leafs have control there. I would definitely bet
in a couple of hacks and a couple of whacks
on Kasha being a Leaf again next season.
So we're back to 5-on-5 and just two fighting majors.
Oh man, how do I even say this name? Trunks Olettle. Trunks. What Oshawa bar is the best to watch a game at? So
2 minutes to go. Pretty good road period. You know,
here's the problem.
Much has happened to this point, and if you're the Leafs right now,
for any of you who live in Durham region, Oshawa, maybe a little bit of Clarington action. First of all, hello. Second of all, an Oshawa institution. A bar, a pub, a social that was around for 53 years. Closed during the pandemic, called the Tartan Tavern. This place, I was trying to explain to Eric Lindros where I lived, because he played for the Oshawa Generals. I was talking to him. He's like, so where in Oshawa do you live? And I was trying to explain. And I was just like, do you know where the Tartan is? And right away he goes, oh, it's the Tartan Tavern is how I connected to the city when I moved here. I was able to yeah, I don't really know what to do around here. There's this place not far away called the Tartan Tavern. And everyone's like, oh, the Tartan. They had big band nights, karaoke nights. a good curry. They do make a good curry. I used to like watching games there, but it's shut down. They're turning it into a bollocks. Any UK viewers right now just laughed. They're turning it into a what? I'm sure it'll be roughly the same, but it's a shame that institution shut down. I like the Portly Piper to watch games. I know there's a few other sports bars that have been recommended to me. I know there's Chasers. I think that's in Curtis, though. I think it's the Players Bench. Some people have told me are good, but I really like the Portly Piper. I like the Portly Piper in Ajax for a game, too. Impossible to get in. But I don't even know the last time I watched a hockey game at a bar, though. Less than a minute to go in this first period. Leafs again with the juiced line. Why not? Wayne Simmons is in the penalty box for 5 minutes for fighting. Uh-oh. Bit of a dangerous play there by Tavares.
Physical checking line for the Wild. What's changed so much for Dean Evason is he has faith in all four lines, doesn't he? Not afraid at all to put anybody
Muzzin.
against the matchup.
Almost getting caught there. Sticking with his man as best he can. Minnesota gets a shot. And whoa! Oh, I thought Jack Campbell made that save. And now you see why the Minnesota Wild wanted to keep JD Greenway out of the box. Or sorry, it's not JD, it's Jordan. It's very confusing. The Leafs drafted his brother. It is Jordan Greenway. The Leafs drafted JD. Very confusing. I really did think Jack Campbell saved this. I think it might have gone in before that. I can't tell from there. Holy smokes, I do think. Yeah, that was, yeah, no, that went in twice. That went in twice. Oh, well. With 23.7 seconds to go in the first period, the Minnesota Wild get on the board. That was only Greenway's second goal of the season. 10-1 record when scoring the first goal of the season. As the Leafs almost give up another one. Not a good end of the first period for the Toronto Maple Leafs at all. Goodness gracious me, oh my. Leafs head to intermission reeling a little bit. As the Minnesota Wild go up late in the first period at home. Leafs down 1-0 at the XL Energy Center. This is Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. I am Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends. By the way, I'm just on HockeyDB here. If you're wondering why I didn't want Michael Bunting to fight Jordan Greenway, Jordan Greenway is listed at 6'6", 231 pounds. So that's why. Let's do a couple more questions. So apparently, I didn't notice this and I didn't hear it on the broadcast, but producer Drew tells me there are murmurs on Twitter that Marcus Foligno came off the bench for that fight against Wayne Simmons. Now, I don't know if that's true. If it is found to be true, that's an automatic suspension. David Clarkson got 10 games. It's a mandatory 10 games. But what's interesting about that, so leaving the bench for a fight is 10 games. What's interesting about that is I seem to remember a few years ago, I think it was actually Paul Bissonnette, came off the bench for a fight in a preseason game, just like David Clarkson. And I think he appealed and got it knocked down to 3. I might be wrong, but it was someone. That's interesting. That'll be a factor. Before we go to break, one more question. XSJX asks, when will Rodion Amirov slot in? So it's going to be a while. It's interesting. A few Leaf prospects are having really good seasons. Topi Niemela is probably first and foremost among them. I don't know if he still is, but the young defenseman was actually leading all players in Finland in scoring as a defenseman. But you haven't heard a lot about Nick Robertson, and that's because he's been injured. Well, I haven't heard about him. Yeah, he hasn't been playing. And the other guy is Rodion Amirov. I haven't heard about him. Yeah, that's because he's not playing. He has been injured, but I believe he's returning to the lineup for his team. I think he plays for Salavat Yelayev over in the KHL, and I believe he's returning to their lineup this weekend. So, when does he slot in? As early as next season, but he's going to have to be very, very, very good for the rest of this one because out of sight, kind of out of mind. It'd be great to see him play pro here in North America in the AHL first, but that's often just not how it works. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to show a few features here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. Check out what you've been missing. And once we come back, not only are we going to have second period action from this game between the Minnesota Wild and the Toronto Maple Leafs, but we're going to have special guest from the Sportsnet 590, The Fan morning show, Ailish Forfar. So this is Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe, and we'll be right back. Enjoy these features, please.
Do you need me to? Oh, you've got a slate and everything.
Maybe.
Big time.
All right, let's do it.
All right, for you, 27 points in 18 games. I know everyone's been asking you, why are you off to such a great start? So you're probably sick of answering that question. So I instead reached out to your dad, Sam, and asked him why he thought that you were playing so well. You want to know what he said?
I would love to.
He said it's definitely maturity. Maturity leads to better training and better focus on and off the ice. Dad, right?
Yeah, I mean, he knows me pretty well. So I think, over the last 2 years, that maturation process has kind of been there. And, I've always, dedicated my entire life to this sport and to this game. But, I think, the older you get, the more grateful you are for the opportunity. And you just... you want to make the most of it, so here I am.
When you first arrived on the scene here in Toronto, just over a decade ago, kind of had a bit of a swagger, a bit of a cocky young guy, kind of got in trouble sometimes. I mean, what would you want to tell that guy now? Or did you just sort of have to go through it to get to the point where you're at?
It was a bit of a transition phase, obviously, nowadays you kind of want your first rounder, your first pick to kind of be walking around with that swagger and believe you can play on the team right away. I think, back when I was trying to do it, it might have been, frowned upon just a little bit, but, I don't really, regret anything. Of course, there were some growing pains that I had to go through, and, a lot of great people that I had to learn from. And,
Who comes to mind when you think of that?
I mean, certain coaches, obviously Dallas Eakins, in the minors helped me a lot. A player like Dion, recently retired. He was a great mentor of mine.
You are someone who likes to stir things up a little bit at times on the ice. Did you see Artemi Panarin throw his glove?
I did,
At Brad Marchand.
Yep.
What did you think when you saw that?
I mean, it's an emotional game. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand. These, just the mental aspect of it, and just, maybe typically you wouldn't do certain things in certain situations if it wasn't for that emotion and that passion, and that can get carried away sometimes. But that's hockey, and that's why I love it, and that's why most people love it. Is it's unexpected, and it's unpredictable.
Well, we saw Nate McKinnon, your teammate, do it. Is this a thing?
With the helmet.
Like, have you ever thought about throwing a piece of equipment?
I haven't. I should probably steer clear of that.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm the guy to be throwing equipment.
Who are some of the best, and should I say best or worst guys at chirping out there? Like, who gets under your skin?
Yeah, nobody.
That's
Nobody.
the answer. How do you come up with the stuff that you say?
You got to have some material and maybe know a little bit about the player. Yeah, of course. I mean, you're playing in the league. Usually you know a lot about the guys that are playing against you or playing with you. So, I think you got to have, a witty aspect to you also, to be on your toes and just be ready for anything. So, that's the recipe of a good chirper.
How important do you think it would be for you, though, to have a good playoff, to kind of exercise some of the demons of the past, show you can do it and keep your nose clean at the same time?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just a competitive person. So, for me, that stuff, it could, add some fuel to the fire maybe at times. But, obviously this year I got to be, a little more careful.
I was going to say, do you really have that in your mind now?
I mean,
know
you're always
said
thinking
it before.
about it, but like I said, I've been through it before. So for me, I kind of, it's in the back of my mind. I've been playing for a long time. I know how to play the game, and I just got to go out and execute that.
The Leafs are on a roll.
Yep.
You guys are on a roll. What do you expect? Fireworks? What can we...
I mean, I just expect a good hockey game. I mean, like you said, both teams are playing really well right now, and I think it's possible to maybe see both these teams in the end. That could definitely be a possibility, and for us, climbing the standings is important, and finishing as high as we can is very important. So it's going to be a big 2 points on the road for us.
Welcome back, everybody, to Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle, and it's not just me. It's my co-host from NHL Chat Room, the show that was so good they decided we can't have something this good for more than 2 months. It needs to be canceled after 2 months. It's Ailish Forfar, hey, from the Sportsnet 590 The Fan Morning Show.
Wow, this is a rare time for me to be awake or performing in front of a camera, because I am now a morning person and I am done work at 10 a.m. So this is strange hours for me.
I was gonna say. So how has the adjustment been? Because I've done the morning just as a fill-in, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, well, we've had you on the air multiple times, and we can only get you at like 9:30 when the show's ending. Yeah,
I'm in bed every time I'm on. By the way.
Oh yeah, you're like, oh, good morning. It's been a lifestyle change. I get up around 4 to 4:30 every morning. Walk right over to the office on my nice 8-minute commute in the morning. Say hello to my 5 a.m. friends that are out there. Some strange characters every day. I see a lot of raccoons. And then on my way back from work, I go straight to bed. I have a weird schedule. I try to do some stuff in the daytime, but then I'm back in front of the TV all night long working. So it's been a lifestyle change. I haven't seen my friends in a long time. So this is them tuning in is like the most that they're going to see me is like right now.
Hi, Ailish's friends.
Hi, everybody. I am alive.
Also, shout out to Hunter. I got a message from someone. Can you shout out Hunter? So here's me shouting out Hunter.
Hey, Hunter.
Hey, Hunter. You are not our first guest, Ailish, but you are our first guest who has a Hockey DB page.
Don't direct people there, Steve.
Go to Ailish Forfar on Hockey DB. You finished tied for I think 15th on the Markham Thunder in scoring in 18-19.
There's about 16 players, so that was a good. That makes sense.
Pretty good. Pretty good. And you have 1 goal.
Yeah.
Can you describe that goal?
Okay, I can. So, very first game of my professional hockey career. My family's in the stands. My friends have come. Home opener. First time I donned my professional hockey career jersey. Skate out there. I think I'm on the 3rd or 4th line at this point. Definitely was demoted to the 4th line for the rest of the season. But I think we won that game 6 or 7-0, and I might have got like the 5th goal. I'm sure you have. Actually, you know what? I bet you have the video. If you play it, I'm going to be.
I don't.
Okay.
Oh, Steph does.
You'd love to just toss it in the NHL chat room stream. Yeah, I think there's a rebound from the point, and I just wind up for a big old slap shot from like the hash marks. And it just blew right by the goalie. I think there's a hole in the net still. And I'm just like, yeah! That was it. And I never scored again. So I have that one memory.
Hey, you got more goals on HockeyDB than most people.
My college stats are great, okay? I definitely peaked in college, didn't we all?
Do you have an elite prospects?
Yeah, elite prospects is better. HockeyDB doesn't give you my college stats.
All right, let me look at this. I don't see it unless they have your name spelled wrong, which I would not be surprised because I've seen your Starbucks cups and it's tough.
Oh yeah, English, Alicia, eyelash.
Eyelash, yeah, a lot of eyelash.
I see elite prospects. Maybe they don't have. Maybe they deleted me.
Oh no,
That's bad.
That's tough.
Does HockeyDB not have like college, or does it?
No, HockeyDB is a bit of a mixed bag sometimes.
Wait, are we looking for elite prospects or HockeyDB?
I want to see you on elite prospects. I want your college stats.
Right here, buddy.
Oh shoot. Maybe
check out my PWHL stats. I had 33 points in 36 games. No big deal.
Oh my God, you're a killer.
I was a killer. That's right. Put some respect on my name, okay, Steve?
Oh,
look at your stats. I told you I was good.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I knew it. Oh, that's
Look
it.
at the heater. Oh yeah. That was the 4th goal of the game.
Oh, pretty good. I remember that. Look at me go. Yay! I am so proud of myself. Thank you for bringing that back. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw my career highlights put into such a quick little snippet.
So good. So good. I need to know about your 10-game playoff run with the Toronto Arrows because
Fire.
13 points in 10 games, 5 goals, 8 assists. What is it with you and not having any mercy in those playoffs?
Yeah, Toronto Arrows, we were one of the top teams in, I guess, Ontario. We were pretty good. Played out of Seneca College here, just north of the DVP and 401 in an old barn. I just must have felt the scouting. The scouting was in peak performance in the playoffs and in your senior and junior years. So like I had to light it up when it mattered, and that's when the scouts are there. Ended up going to Dartmouth College. Not a big deal. Had a couple good offers for D1 schools. So I think that's where I performed at my best. And then I was going well, and then I definitely tapered off when it came to like the professional career. You know, it's hard to balance all those things.
Well, I mean, like you peak at Ryerson, and then it's like, you know, everything's downhill after Ryerson. It's just that's the peak of everything, right? That's
right. Yeah, good old Rye High. But yeah, thanks for bringing up my stats. It's a little confidence boost.
No problem. No problem. Actually, real confidence boost. You have something I'm extremely jealous of. We were talking about it before the stream because you get to live in hipster Toronto. Can you? Yeah, look at that.
So this is one of my many vintage sweaters. This is from 1994, which coincidentally is the year I was born.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I should have brought them all and had them like up here on the counter to like cycle through all my cool stuff, but I am a vintage clothing I don't know, connoisseur might be the right word. And I have a lot of really good stuff to uncover. But this one felt right for today. It's very cozy. And I am someone you'll find bargaining in the vintage stores, pulling apart their closets, looking for the best stuff. So this is a nice cozy one for tonight.
It's so dadly. Like it feels like right next to it. Did you find a pair of grass stained white shoes?
Definitely. They were New Balance for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Well, you're a dad now, so you know what it's all about.
That's true. I do. My staring at the lawn per 60 skyrocketed. Yeah. I water it. I don't know. You know what it is? I'm a nurturer now. Mm-hmm. I just want everything to grow.
Love trait to have.
Yeah. As
the
Leafs try to nurture themselves to a tie game after allowing a goal late in the first period against the Minnesota Wild. What do you think of this heater that the Leafs are on right now, and what do you think of this game so far? Those are obviously two separate thoughts.
The heater that the Leafs are on has been very exciting to cover, especially in talk radio, because you can just be so dramatic one day and be like, the Leafs are the best team in the universe. And then like 2 games later, we're like, we need to fire the GM and we need to sweep everyone out. And like everyone calls you on that too. Like they're like, you guys are so dramatic as radio hosts. Like one day this, one day next. I'm leaning into it though. But the last, I guess 16 or 17 games has been really fun because we're trying to talk on the air for 4 hours a day and to find narratives. And most of the time we're like, they're just so good. Like, what do we talk about? And it's been Jack Campbell.
Riley's going to get at least 2 for that.
Okay.
Not a great hit.
Jack Campbell love and appreciation, which for me, I love that. I think he's an awesome guy. So it's been good for the Leafs in terms of the narratives. And this game, though, I'm a little nervous. I'm coming in. They're behind. They're starting to show some cracks. It better not be my fault.
It's definitely your fault and has nothing to do with the fact that they're on the road against a really good team and they're without Mitch Marner. Nothing to do with it.
No, it's 100% me. It was actually kind of exciting to see them playing the Wild because it's been a while, and the Wild are a really good, like, solid two-way team that you kind of underrate unless you're like someone that pays attention to any other team, which I don't. So I was excited to come in and like, wow, look what the Wild's all about, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They're sort of one of those teams, like, I noticed a lot of hockey people, like, they like to talk about John Klingberg. I've been hearing this year, and John Klingberg's contract. I'm like, the average hockey fan does not know or care who John Klingberg is.
Actually, one year I had him on my fantasy team, and he was awesome, and that's, like, the only way I knew who John Klingberg was. And then as soon as he's not on your fantasy team, who is he?
Yeah, no. It's a fantasy. I haven't been great at it. Because I'm not very good at it. But it is such a good way of keeping up with who's hot and who's cold.
It's a nice like cheat code to be like, who is the most picked up free agent this week? Oh, we should talk about that person because they must be doing well.
100%. Kaprizov was a guy I was following because I drafted him, and he was brutal to start the season, and now he's like captain 4-point game. As Engvall gets rocked at center ice. This has been kind of a nasty game.
This is actually difficult to like listen to you and watch the game. Like, how do you multitask like this?
You struggle is what you do. You just try.
Whether it's going to be my play-by-play or color commentary or paying attention to you. So you just pick and choose. But this is really cool that you get to do this every Saturday. I hope you're not tired of it yet.
No, I'm not tired of it yet. It's funny that the Leafs are doing so well, and I believe 2 of these have been against the Penguins, and they've lost both of them by I think it was a combined score of I want to say 9-2 or 11-2 or something like that. Good stuff. Well, you have something in common with producer Drew. So I went to a game with producer Drew, and I won him, as I think the Leafs are about to go to the power play. I won Drew $130 by telling him to bet on Trevor Moore. You won. It was Matt Dumba who hit Pierre Engvall there. You won a lot more than that because Nazem Kadri scored 2 goals the other night.
I did, and I was bragging all about this on the air. Like, it was like the first time I ever really want to bet. So like, I'm gonna lean into this, and I had tweeted it out, which helps people know that I'm not making stuff up, which you can do on the radio all the time. But I put the screenshot up of I bet $10 that Kadri was going to score 2 or more against the Leafs, and it wasn't looking promising at first because that first goal they didn't really like know if it was him or not, and then he scores the one like with 3 minutes left in the game, and I ended up. It was like plus 1,200 odds, or plus 2,000 odds, something like that. I ended up winning $200. So do the quick math. I think that's plus 2,000 odds, something like that. And I was like, wow, like $10 can go a long way, guys. Betting is fun when you win. But then I usually lose most of the time, and I just pretend I don't bet and I don't bring it up on the air.
See, I think that's a really healthy way to look at it. You're like, hooray, I bet $10 and won 200. Drew's first thought was, I should have bet more.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
I mean, I do. Buddy, you won over $100 because of Trevor Moore. You know how many people can say that? Not very many.
Now I bet on every ex-Leaf anytime that they're playing the Leafs because I thought Spezza was celebrating there. I saw his arms up. I did bet on Spezza tonight to score, actually, so that's another thing that I just know about him. Yeah.
Oh. As that puck goes wide, Leafs gotta corral it here.
This is a...
Oh, for God.
No, guys. Your power play was so well the last couple games. Let's regroup it. Did you talk about the Marner injury? Because do we know what happened there? I need to get like an insider on the phone on Monday morning and put them on the spot. Like, what actually happened?
What happened? No, so the footage, we showed it before the game, but it picks up right after the collision happened.
Yeah, convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I thought Marner was maybe laboring on his right leg or something. I think he just got banged up, like, because he was obviously healthy enough to bark at Jake Muzzin afterward.
I was like, what's the drama, guys? How's it going? And now Jake Muzzin's like the most hated man in Toronto.
Muzzin, no, he's still pretty popular. You know who, like, excuse me while I pick up this name that I'm about to drop. You know who will every now and then just text me how much they love Jake Muzzin? Edge, the wrestler.
Okay, because you know Blake Murphy, my other co-host, is the biggest wrestling fan in the world, and he's started to like put his wrestling into my brain somehow. Like, I'm getting wrestling brain, as he calls it. And I know who Edge is. Like, you didn't even have to say the wrestler Edge, because I'm pretty sure we had him on the line, or we talked to him before, or I know about Edge. Okay, so
yeah,
I'm a big Edge fan now. But yeah, okay, so you text Edge too, so it's not a big deal, I guess.
Oh, sometimes, just Adam, I call him.
Oh yeah.
I think Kasha is getting a tripping call here. Oh.
Oh, he just conveniently fell on it. No problem.
It's a beautiful game.
It is beautiful. But okay, so he's a big. Wait, where are you going with that? Why does he text you?
Because he loves Jake Muzzin.
Oh, because he loves Jake Muzzin. Okay.
Also, I just wanted an excuse to talk about Edge.
Look at that water bottle you got going on there.
The gallon, and it's got.
It's like also an arm workout.
Oh yeah, it's 10 pounds.
Yeah. Is Leo more than 10 pounds yet?
Oh, he's a sausage. That he's like close to 25.
I actually saw your video of him playing hockey the other day, and it warmed my heart. He's good. He could score more than one in the CWHL at this point.
I mean, could he score more than one in a charity tournament? Because that's my career high. So.
Oh yeah. So the Easter Seals tournament, we had Eric Lindros on before the tournament, and he was talking all about it. And I was like, I didn't get an invite.
Oh, how did that go in? I think it was Hartman in the slot.
Remember when you said Justin Hall was going to score his first goal tonight?
Well, at least you were watching.
Yeah, I was watching. Look at him there. Oh, poor guy.
Did he?
I'm a fan of the look he's got going on right now.
You're not a fan? No.
Like that type of. Is that just like called a goatee now with like this area?
I don't know. Upsetting facial hair works if you're good. See, he did score. I was right.
Oh yeah, there you go. Oh.
Nailed it.
That's 100% on you.
Every kid dreams of scoring for his hometown team. And he did. Just now.
That one's you.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
The 2-0 guy. I'm not liking my bet line tonight. Can I cash out quickly while we're on the air?
Oh, Nick Ritchie. We do have some questions questions and comments from the chat. Would you like me to get to them?
Yeah, I would love that.
Our first comes from JD Boomkees.
I don't know who that is.
Don't say we can't find things to talk about.
Yeah, oops. That's my co-host, JD, and there's days where I don't even need to show up because he can talk for like 4 hours straight. So he is one of a kind. He knows what to talk about all the time. So he has no problem with that.
Have you seen that video going around? It's every podcast host ever, and it's a 2.5-minute lead up to their question.
Is it by JD?
It's JD Bunkus. It's JD Bunkus. My career, one of my career highlights, or one of my career, what am I doing here moments, was I was in studio with JD for do you remember the day we were following Kawhi Leonard's car with a helicopter?
Do I ever? Yes. Kawhi watch.
Kawhi watch. We were in studio for that, and as the Leafs head back to the penalty kill, geez, this game is getting squirrely fast. JD would talk about the history of Kawhi Leonard, and I would occasionally offer helpful insight like, wow, this is crazy.
Great. Wow. Can't believe this is happening. That's me sometimes.
Man, can you believe this? Gray asks, would Ailish demolish Steve on the ice?
That's not even a question, Gray.
Come on. I can't even do crossover. She has a Hockey DB page. I'd die.
You're giving Hockey DB a lot of free shout-outs today, and I'll tell you what, working on air with these other clowns that I host with, they're so close to the heart about giving away free sponsorships because now they want to get paid for stuff. Like, I have the fascination with a well-known chip brand that I started talking about on air all the time. This
Vicky's?
Okay, so there you go. Now Miss Vicky's is on Sportsnet's YouTube page. And I talked about them on air every day, and I was getting people sending me photos of them eating this brand. And then my co-hosts were like, you should get sponsored for this. So now whenever you're throwing out free sponsorship, I'm like, I gotta play it a little more coy than you.
Listen, Big Red Rogers can take it up with me. I will give Miss Vicky's all the shout-outs they want.
I do have that big bag of the very hard to get Miss Vicky's chips in my kitchen. So depending on how this game goes, I might have to crack into them.
What was it? It was spicy ketchup?
Yeah. Do I have it in reach? Maybe.
Oh, I had the spicy dill pickle the other day.
The spicy dill pickle is elite beyond belief. So this was the thing that happened is I started talking about how much these chips changed my life. And everyone's texting in, calling in, tweeting in, whatever, sending me handwritten letters about how I need to try the spicy and sweet ketchup, which you can only get at Costco. So I had to get someone to, they're only sold at Costco right now.
There's another one.
So yeah, sorry Costco. But anyway, so I'm going to make the bag look like it's a little bit more full, but it might be basically empty.
Yeah.
So it's been crinkled big time. It was pretty much empty, guys. Here they are, my sweet and spicy ketchup, but I have another full unopened bag. But if Miss Vicky's is watching this, I'm waiting for some royalties, okay? Because the amount of people that send me Instagram messages of them eating chips, it's like, that's my entire brand now.
I want, in the mornings with Ailish Forfar, sponsored by Miss Vicky's.
Yum, yum, yum. It's me just crunching chips.
You have to do a 60-second rant like Sid 6-0, but it's just you with a mouthful of chips.
I at this point, my role on the morning show is just make people laugh, I think. So it's either me saying bing bong all the time, which is now part of my brand, or eating chips, or just chirping Blake and JD. So I'm glad I could contribute and get a paycheck for that. I'm okay with it.
So you learned something earlier in your career that I have figured out is if you don't know what you're talking about, at least make people laugh.
Yeah, that was kind of my locker room vibe though. Like when I'm not playing and I'm on the bench, like I'm just like the energy bringer, like the glue guy, right?
Yeah.
So that's what you got to do sometimes. If you're not getting out there for anything but an occasional PK shift, you need to have something else on your Hockey DB page that is in the intangible asset, and that is being the glue guy. So I'll take it.
Oh my goodness, what a stop, Jack. This game's getting chippier by the minute.
Chippy game. I like it. I want to see a little bit of grit from the Maple Leafs, you know?
So did you see, I don't know if this was mentioned on the broadcast, but it's going around Twitter that Marcus Foligno should,
I did see that.
yeah, either be kicked out of this game or suspended because he left the ice and then rejoined to get into a fight with Wayne Simmons.
That needs to be like, that's when like Twitter is the best because people are like investigators on Twitter and they find like sneaky little ways to make things happen. And that is something that the league needs to see through Twitter and be like, you're right, guys.
Zapruder film.
It's like when you're in the stands and the ref misses a call and you're like, whoa, it's like too many men. And then they blow it because they've heard you. This is exactly like the social media age of that.
100%. We have some more questions from the chat. Nico, who is Ailish's favorite player?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. Of all time, currently, on which team? Women's,
Yes.
men's, like just
Yes.
that's more questions.
All of them. All of them.
My favorite player growing up was Darcy Tucker.
Awesome.
Not only because I had a massive crush on Darcy Tucker, like who didn't, but I liked that he was a grit guy, he was a Leafs guy, and yeah, I did probably just mostly had a big crush on Darcy Tucker. We actually interviewed him on the air a while ago, and I was like, hi, Darcy. I'm like, I need to be professional. Like, what am I doing here? Darcy Tucker was my favorite player growing up. I'd say right now, I'm a huge Ovi fan. I just like thinking what he's doing is incredible. He plays with so much passion. I really like Ovi. Women's side, I grew up as a big Cassie Campbell fan, which is really cool. And now she's in media. It's a very cool, inspirational thing for me. Current favorite women's player, my best friend, Laura Stacey. I don't know if you know her. She's an Olympian.
Yeah.
But yeah, we played together on the Toronto Arrows. If you look up her stats on the Toronto Arrows, you'll be even more blown away than mine. So we played together on the Arrows, then we both went to Dartmouth together, and then we both played on the Market Thunder together. And so we've been, best friends since high school. So she's my current favorite Team Canada player, and she's currently trying to make a roster spot for the Beijing Olympics. So send good vibes to Laura.
Holy cow. Okay,
Yeah.
so Laura Stacey, 20s.
It's insane, right? Like, she's so good, and she's my line mate, and I'm like, yay!
Oh my, okay, so 27 goals and 19 assists for 46 points in 31 games, and the Minnesota Wild score, so screw it, we're gonna keep talking about this. And then she had 21 points in 10 playoff games. The next closest teammate was Lindsay Allen it was you. It was Ailish Forfar with 13 points in 10.
So we did take Lindsay Allen, who was my other line mate, and all three of us went to Dartmouth together. So like Dartmouth is recruiting that top line of Toronto Arrows kids that go to Dartmouth, and they're like, damn, we lucked out. And it was really nice. And we're all good friends, live together, and yeah. So that's my other good friend, Lindsay. She's not Olympian, unfortunately.
All right, well, let me just feel sorry for myself that the Leafs are now down 3-0. But as I said at the beginning of the stream, Marcus Foligno on my fantasy team.
Yes.
So at very least, I have that going for me. He just
But
scored.
he might get in some extra trouble for his fight, right?
You don't lose points for a suspension, I don't think.
I don't know, actually. You probably wouldn't, but like, would he be out for future games? Yeah, and then you wouldn't have him. You would just bench him.
He was a waiver wire pickup.
Oh, okay, you're not worried about it.
Oh, my team? Elite. I had Alex DeBrincat on the bench the other day for a goal and an assist, and I was sad. What a pass! Oh, my God.
That's the tough thing about NHL fantasy is like you need to remember to do it every day. Whereas like NFL, you're like, okay, this is my roster, lock it in. But NHL can definitely get away from you, and you're like, I literally had the wrong, like I had nobody starting, no goalies.
Right. Goalies are my entire team, so I always have to remember them.
What do you have, Jack Campbell?
I had Vasilevsky and Hellebuck
Okay.
at the same time, but the problem was my team had 0 scoring whatsoever, so I got rid of Hellebuck. But I have Vasilevsky and Swayman now.
Oh.
Yeah, and they've given me 3 shutouts over the last couple of weeks, so I'm very happy about that.
Do you think Jack Campbell's going to make the Olympic team?
I mean, well, tonight's not the greatest example in the world, but
That's nice.
like they probably want to develop Spencer Knight. Connor Hellebuck is obvious, but then a guy like Thatcher Demko, like he's been fine, but the Canucks stink.
Do they ever?
Like
It's a tough situation.
You know what I do think helps him though is he came into a very difficult situation in the bubble and was unbelievable.
So there's some, like, you can reflect backwards and be like, well, he has some stuff. But, I mean, other than when Connor Garland signed with the Canucks, I was really excited because I was in Latvia at the World Championships watching. Well,
Right.
I was not fine, in case anyone was wondering. And he was one of the most incredible players that I discovered, because you go over to the World Championships and there's no NHL players really, right? Like it's just like a bunch of random Bunting. Like I was like, who's this Bunting guy? And I was covering it for the IHF, and Garland and Bunting and a couple other guys. I was like, these guys are gonna have great seasons, because it was right in May or June, right before the season came back. And yeah, well, obviously, yeah, that was pretty cool. It was sick to watch Canada win gold. Oh my God. And I'm supposed to be an impartial, working for that double IHF, all right, let's be professional. And Canada scores the OT winner against Finland. And I'm right up on the glass, shaking, filming it. And I have to upload it on Twitter and tweet non-Canadian. And I'm pretty sure you can hear me be like, yeah! Whoops. It was so cool. But yeah, I got to see a lot of those guys shine in Latvia. And it was exciting to see them back this season. A lot of them are doing really well. So maybe you should just go to the World Championships and not opt out of that.
Yeah. Well, you're acting like, if I went there and I was cheering for Canada, I'm some random Canadian and that would be unprofessional.
Right.
You literally played for Team Canada. So I think you're allowed.
I know, but I was there as impartial, the face of the double IHF. I was hosting a show for them, being today, Kazakhstan is playing Latvia, and very much I don't have a horse in the race, and then it's Canada in the gold medal game after this incredibly upsetting start where people were like, this is the most embarrassing Canadian hockey team to ever represent Canada. And that's what people were saying, and I'm there sifting through comments being oh, block that, delete that person, because it was all these angry Canadians. And then at the end it was Canada, the best team ever, we showed them. And I'm oh, where were you guys at the beginning of the tournament? But it was really cool. I was pretty pumped to be there. Very nice moments for Canada.
Very cool. And it wasn't your first time overseas, right? Because what was the tournament you were at in Russia?
Yeah, I played for Canada at the FISU World Championships, and we won a silver medal. I try to say it as confidently as I can. We lost gold to the Russians on home ice against, who was there? Vladimir Putin. We're playing, and I'm looking up, and there's Vladimir Putin in the stands, and I'm like, oh my God, what happens if we win? And I think we lost 2-0, maybe it was 1-0 with an empty net. It was a really tight game, and the Russians were obviously really good. So a disappointing end, but if anyone's going to win on home ice in Russia, for it to be Russia with the president of Russia there, I was I feel safe leaving. I feel we're good to go.
Yeah.
For the hospitality.
And I bet the officiating was really even.
Oh, it was just, honestly, just an outstanding display of integrity and good sportsmanship.
I bet.
Yeah, that was great. Did a lot of drug testing. For the Canadian team, which seems strange. I don't think every other team was doing as much drug testing as we were. And it was in a small Siberian city called Krasnoyarsk. So if you feel up to looking that up on a map, go to Moscow. You fly to Moscow, then you fly another 7 hours east from Moscow. Yeah, I didn't know you could go that far in Russia. It was honestly the most interesting part of the trip is that you get to Russia after being in the airplane for like 17 hours to get to Moscow. And they're like, hey, get ready because you're getting in another plane for 7 hours. And you're like, where the hell are we going? Then you end up in Siberia in a little town called, a big city, I guess, Krasnoyarsk. So I got to see a lot of the world on that trip.
I'm looking at it right now. There's 1 million people there?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's an interesting little place. And you don't realize, honestly, how big Russia is. It's like, it's crazy. We weren't even all the way to the edge. I thought we were going to end up in, like, the other side, like, end up in Vancouver. But we were still in the middle of Russia. It was crazy.
I'm looking at it now, like, oh, Willie! Oh, what a stop by Talbot.
Boo. Oh, Willie.
I didn't like that he stopped it. It's because Putin's in the building in Minnesota.
Putin's probably watching at this point. Like, I feel I'm going to have to, like, bunker down here for a couple days. I'm nervous.
Let me get back to the questions here. Oh,
yeah, sorry, I just talk too much. I'm used to the radio with JD, and, you know, you just have to get it in when you can't talk.
I mean, yeah, you've hosted shows with JD Bunkus and with me. Like, it's hard to get a word in. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. So the Leafs have been on a heater, but they're down 3-0, so let's have a bit of a moan. Bonnie wants to know Ailish's worst Leafs memory.
Oh my God, Bonnie.
That right?
Doing here. So, my worst Leafs memory. I went to school right outside of Boston in a small town in New Hampshire. Okay.
I already hate this story.
You're gonna hate this story. And our team had just lost in our playoff series, so we were hosting a adult evening at a fraternity, the men's hockey fraternity. We were hosting a women's hockey, men's hockey event, and everybody was supposed to wear formal dresses and suits and stuff. My friend group, all Toronto Maple Leafs fans, show up in Leafs jerseys, and like everyone takes it like it's very, it's fun, like you dress up. No, we show up in Leafs jerseys, and it's Game 7 of the Leafs Bruins series. I'm sure you remember what happened there. So we're having a very nice adult evening, playing games that involve cups and balls, and I don't know if there's children watching, so I just want to tone it down. So we're having a great night. We're celebrating. We have the Leafs on the big screen down in the fraternity basement, and we're just like,
hey.
Did we just score?
I have no idea what happened.
We didn't even bet up. There's my bet, baby.
Hey, oh, there you go.
Let me see. Oh my God, I'm gonna be rich. I gotta screenshot that, put that on the Twitter feed. Oh, that's good money right there.
We'll watch the replay and we'll pick up your story at Cups and Balls.
Yeah, Cups and Balls.
Did Simmons get a piece of that? So he throws it on, and it either goes off Simmons or the defender in front.
Oh, it just goes off.
No, it goes off. What? All right.
What a way to make some money, eh? You know what? I have to give a shout out to Blake because he just texted me and he goes, "Your bet?" Okay, Blake Murphy told me to bet that. Yeah, sorry, Blake. Let me give you some love there.
Was it Blake's money?
No, it was my own money, but he's like, "I'm going to bet Spezza to score tonight." And I'm like, "So am I." And then I did it, and there's the receipts. But yes, Blake, you told me to do it. Anyway, back to the Cups and Balls story.
Yes.
So we're having one exciting evening. The Leafs are up. We're in our Leafs jerseys. All the people that are at the school are like from the East Coast, like New England, Boston people, and we're just like rubbing it. We were obnoxious. Like,
oh no.
We had gotten into the sauce. We were having one hell of a night, and we're just like rubbing it in all these Boston fans. We're in our jerseys, and then like the comeback starts happening, and like it's just silent in that basement because everyone's like, stop playing, like we're focused on this game now. And then you know how it ends.
No.
It was just like the most devastating thing ever, is because we had made it this thing the whole night that like we were gonna win, and we were just obnoxious, and then we lost in front of all these people that were Bruins fans. And anyway, I drank away my sorrows that night. But it was not a great memory. Thank you for Bonnie for bringing it up. I just love to relive that moment. Yeah, you'll remember where you are forever, and that's where I was, and it was tough.
I was in Maple Leaf Square.
That's equally bad.
It was We were sad.
I did go to game 1 of that series, which was really exciting. The tickets weren't bad. We just decided on a day trip to go down there for game 1, and the Leafs got the first goal of that game. And we were one of probably 20 Leafs fans in the building. And we're in Leafs jerseys. It was me and Laura Stacey and 2 guys on the men's team that were from Canada as well. Actually, Tyler Sakura, who's playing for the Blackhawks organization, and his brother Dylan Sakura is in the Blackhawks organization. So they're really good. And they're Aurora, Ontario kids. And Charles Grant, who is actually a goalie coach now in the Pittsburgh Penguins organization. He's from Nova Scotia. So shout out to the little Dartmouth grads. But anyway, we're there behind the net, and they score the first goal. We are standing up like we were, again, obnoxious Leafs fans, making our presence known in Boston, and people were like, oh my God. Then they came back, and I think we lost 4-1. And
4-1.
It was actually like really aggressive, though. The fans were saying very inappropriate things to us and like threatening our lives and throwing things at us and get me out of this building. And then when we were walking to the car, we took our jerseys off because we were worried about like what was going to happen in the parking garage, like in our Leafs jerseys. So we like took them off and we're like, go Bruins. Yeah, I don't have many good memories from being a Dartmouth, a Leafs fan living outside of Boston. It was not a good stretch there.
There was, it's one of the very few exclusives I've ever gotten, but there was a Leaf fan who went to Boston it was one of the games the Leafs won in Boston in that series. So it would have been either game 2 or game 5.
Yeah.
And do you remember a story from the 2013 series where a Leaf fan got knocked out?
No, but I'm glad it wasn't me. It could have been me at this point. I might have gotten knocked out. I don't remember.
So it was just the story going around Twitter or whatever, but no one really had the nitty gritty on it. And a buddy who I worked at the Toronto Zoo with texted me, and he's like, hey man, that was my friend. We went as a group of 4 guys. Do you want to talk to him? And so I got my I was like, yes, I absolutely do. Unfortunately, like, I had to rely on my friend for the juiciest parts of the story because he didn't really remember what happened.
I'm not even surprised. Like, if it was just us 2 girls, I think we would have been okay. But having the 2 guys that were there, they were probably getting provoked more than us. And it was scary. You don't mess with Bruins or Red Sox. And I went to so many Red Sox Jays games. Like, that's just the worst too. Like,
oh, and back then,
it's just, it was tough. And then I would go to Patriots games and pretend to be a Patriots fan, and I just hated myself.
Like, we're talking pre-Tulo.
Yeah, it was not good.
Oh no, that was like everyone had a Brett Laurie days or Brett Laurie jersey days.
Mm-hmm. This was between 2012 and 2016. So 2015 was when they had the good run, and that was sweet. That was sweet to be down there. Like, I'd wear my J stuff to the dining hall all the time and be like, that's right! And, like, all these, like, Dartmouth kids are like, the Toronto Jays, like, and then we were good. It was finally, like, sick to wear your J stuff. So we had a little bit of fun there, but not many, like, Leafs moments where I was, like, proudly wearing my cap around and be like, I'm from Toronto. Because everyone's like, really? Like, I live in Boston. How's that going for you? And I'm like, I'm going to burn this hat. So it's tough.
The impression I always get from Bruins fans these days, like if you wear a Leaf hat in Boston, is they're just like, God, it's so impressive that you're still with it.
Yeah, or they'll be like, you are so brave. Like, I am just humbled by your braveness and that you're just able to exist like that. Yeah, we know.
Oh God. Well, now that we're all depressed, the Leafs are actually, they look like they have some life.
Yeah, thanks to Spezza, baby.
Absolutely. How much did that one get you, by the way?
What did I do? Let me see. I bet $10 on Spezza and $160. Pretty good.
Hey!
Take it. Because you know what I did? I cheaped out a bit. I did anytime goal scorer instead of first goal scorer because, you know, that's always better money to get the first goal scorer for the Leafs. But I was a little nervous, you know. I usually get Willie Nylander as first goal scorer, and every time I do that, he cashes in, but I wasn't feeling the vibes today. But yeah, I did Spezza anytime goal scorer plus 500, so a little $60 there, and you know how many bags of chips I can buy with that?
A bunch.
A lot.
I don't do this often. I'm gonna do a bad for me order after this game.
Oh, I'm glad that I helped get you on board for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at me, Ailish. I'm skin and bones. So
Yeah,
I gotta.
I'm such a concern. You need to bulk up, okay?
I agree. Beefcake.
You're eating Leo too much and not taking enough for yourself.
Yo, that kid. So the thing about having a COVID baby and not hanging out with my friends' kids very often is I spend a lot of time with my son, and I keep looking at him like, is my baby jacked? I think
he is.
Looks jacked for a baby.
Well, I mean, I don't have many friends that have babies, so I don't really know. But from my appearances, looking through your Instagram stories, he's got a future in either wrestling or fourth line grind.
He's thick. He's got like this diamond in his upper back where I was like, I think you're jacked for a baby.
What, do you got him bench pressing?
He just bench presses himself. I watched him somersault for the first time the other day, and I gasped because I didn't know he could do that. But the funniest reaction was his because he didn't either. So he just sort of laid there like, I'm looking at the ceiling.
Like, I don't know if I could do a somersault without hurting myself.
Well, I feel like I had back problems for most of our show together, so I don't know if I should.
You did. Like, you were in a lot of pain during NHL chat room, and you just made it happen. Like, you put the team on your back. That's the problem.
That was the problem. I was carrying that show.
And carrying the show, and you were in. So I just don't think I thanked you enough for that.
I'm in a much better spot. I do my old man like yoga routine every morning now, and I'm way better.
A lot of people got into good new fitness, like health tracks during the pandemic. I did buy a Peloton, which is behind me. Do I use it much? No. Do I own it? Yes. So that's nice. But yeah, everyone had something during the pandemic where like, I'm getting into Pilates or like knitting.
See, that's how social media tricks you, because you're like, oh, I don't use it very much. And I'm like, oh, Ailish uses her Peloton all the time because I saw her do a TikTok once.
Yeah. I was, but sometimes you get into it. Like before this new job where I get up at 4 a.m, I was definitely taking care of myself a bit more. Now I'm like, I'm tired. Like, let me just house this whole bag of chips, which is slim to none left in there, because whatever, I'm exhausted. Like, you definitely make excuses for yourself.
Oh, get in there. Get in there. That's definitely a penalty.
It should be a penalty and a free goal. That's how I think.
Absolutely. Tavares,
poor guy.
Slow to get up. I mean, that was directly to the back.
I don't like it. Those Minnesota Wild, they're dirty, eh?
This has been a really rough game.
And they have a back-to-back? They're going to have ice packs on tonight.
Against the Jets, who are not exactly the friendliest either.
Let's see this. Johnny?
No, it's wham!
Oh!
Kind of right to the head, actually.
That's rude.
That is rude. I think that was Ben, who stinks. He does. He stinks.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like him.
Like, actually smells?
Probably.
Is that Jamie Ben?
That's Jordy Ben.
Jordy Ben. Yeah, because you can't get into the Jamie Ben stuff. This is a kid's show, so.
No, we're not gonna go down that path, Ailish. We're not gonna. I won't take that bait.
Yeah, Leo's around, so.
He is.
If not, you must be too young.
Yeah. So the Leafs are on the power play right now. They're down 2, could soon be down 1. They're out shooting the Wild. Bang! Bang! Hey! Got it again! He got it again! Vintage!
That was sick.
Producers, I am humbly asking, can I drink wine on stream?
Let me get mine going.
Oh. Yo, wine night?
Well, I have a bottle behind this screen, so. I didn't know the rules.
Oh, there are none. We had a rule last playoffs where anytime a game goes to overtime, I get a beer.
Okay, because I could crush a beer for that. I don't know. We're running short on time. I don't want to put myself under pressure like that.
Shotgun one right now. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, let's see this.
What
a goal by Vintage. Last year And actually, I want to say in the bubble season too, Jason Spezza had this uncanny ability to have good games where the rest of the team was awful.
Because he's like, we talked about this on the air. He's like the epitome. Is that the right word? Epitome?
Epitome.
That's also a word. Epitome?
Wait, is that he's the? I thought you were just.
We're saying the same word, but I'm saying it much wrong than you are.
Epitome?
You know what? I'm going to get a text in a minute that I was wrong. But anyway, he is a true leader, and I think that's when leaders know when to step up and do what's expected of you. And I honestly I love Jason Spezza for that. He is the hardest worker. He loves hockey. He's so passionate about it, and he's still doing it at his age at the same level of dedication and the work ethic he puts in. I don't think anyone's at the level that he is in terms of just caring for the game as much. And they had him on the broadcast the last couple of days talking about, this is his 1200th game coming up, or already happened, talking about what hockey means to him. And I think it's so rare to find someone that cares so deeply about the game like Jason Spezza. The Leafs are so lucky to have him. So when he shows up for games like this, it's expected that he probably knows that he's needed even more, and he doesn't crack under pressure. Ooh! I should have bet on him to score 2 goals.
He's the epitome of caring.
He's the epitome. You know what? I'm totally nervous that that's going to be what people take from this. Is Dad, that girl in the stream, she can't even say epitome. That's the thing of working in sports radio too. You make one mistake on the air, and that's it. People just text in you said the wrong stat. You know what you're talking about, and you're okay, I've been up since the crack of dawn talking about the backup kicker for the Ravens. I made one error. Okay, lay off.
Producer Drew is losing his mind in my text right now.
Oh God, about what? Us crushing beers and wine? Because that hasn't happened yet.
Epitome. No, that'll. Oh man, that would be the epitome of inappropriate. I'm going to be saying that the rest of the game. I love it.
It's a better way. You really. I hate it.
No, I think we should say it. So now the Leafs, in this game where they were looking awful and down 3-0, could potentially even this thing up on the power play before the second period is even over.
It's going to happen right here. That'll be the epitome of the season.
Epitome of unexpected. Matthews ripping it.
Ready? It's epitome. So I went on Google and I clicked the speak button. Ready? Why is she not doing it now?
Because you pulled up your elite prospects page. And that's a problem. Oh, God.
That was there instead? Bummer.
Don't you hate when that happens? When your elite prospects page comes up? Oh, I hate it.
It's the problem of my performance. Oh, they did it! Oh, my God!
They came all the way back! So far. It was 3-0.
Well, I know, but it was also
3-1 also.
You know what I mean there.
Oh, yeah.
What is happening? This is the most electric period that you've ever had a guest on for, let me just be honest. I think I should come every week.
Man, what a tap-in. Who was that, Riley with the pass? No, guess who? Guess who, Ailish?
I love Spezza. You know what? Who was it that asked me who my favorite player is? Spezza. Screw Ovi.
So a lot of people have Matthews jerseys and Marner and Tavares and Riley and everything. I think one of the most popular jerseys this holiday season, I think it's Spezza.
My parents are watching this live stream actually, so tell Santa Claus to get me a Spezza jersey.
Hey.
Wink, wink. Parents watching. Santa? I don't know. Actually, I don't know if I want that. But... Yeah, no, I do actually.
I think you do.
Yeah. What are you wearing? Your own jersey?
Yeah, I'm wearing my own jersey.
That's pretty cocky, eh?
It is. Well, and it's always. So I was wearing 10, and then I felt weird about it because 10 is retired, and then the person for whom it is retired passed away, and I was like, okay, I need to change my number.
Yeah.
So I made it 20, and then the Leafs go out and they get Riley Nash, who stole my number, that jerk. He played.
It's good old Nick Ritchie.
Now it's Nick Ritchie, who, did he not look it up?
Yeah, that's rude. He should have called you for permission because you are clearly the more elite player in this situation.
So garbage. Brad May stole my number 10 when he became a Leaf.
Okay.
And then I saw him at the recent Eric Lindros Celebrity Hockey Classic. And he blew out his knee. And that's because he stole my number all those years ago.
Well, I was always number 27, which is a great number, but also retired. So, but retired by a good. I got some good legends with that 27. So,
not bad. I mean, one hell of a run with the Toronto Arrows.
Right. Well, I have actually on the Toronto Arrows, I wasn't 27. I wore like a bunch of random numbers because someone older always had it. Like that's how it worked. But both my university careers, I was 27. So that's where it really matters.
Both my university careers. That's the low key flex.
And my Team Canada jersey, which I have hanging up in the closet, which I could get for you, is also number 27.
I mean, you could if you wanted, or
we're good.
I mean, I could also leave you alone and let you crush that bag of chips. That it looks like you could essentially drink what's left in that bag.
It's just the crumbs, and like that was me portion controlling, being like, I'll save that for later.
It's called a denial crinkle.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. But I have a full bag that's staring me in the eyes for later. If the Leafs win this or lose this, it'll still be like either sympathy eating or enjoyment eating. So I'll be happy to crush it.
You know,
anyway, I know you need a break soon. Like this is.
I do, but like I don't feel comfortable with you leaving because they just erased a 3-goal deficit. I haven't seen you for a long time.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like once you log off, we're gonna lose half our viewers because. You got your parents watching. You got JD. You got Blake.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I know. Guys, stay and watch. I know I won't be around. Maybe I'll be in the chat talking about epitomes and chips and stuff. So you should stay and watch because Steve is just as good. And I'll keep my energy throughout the chat here. So then you also have good vibes for the Leafs to win because I clearly helped that happen.
Absolutely. Well, Ailish Forfar, who is the epitome of class. Thank you so much for joining Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. Any final thoughts or where people can follow you before you go?
For sure. We're live every morning during the week from 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. I always get close to messing that up because they've changed. But yeah, so every morning on 590, you can listen to us during the weekdays. And then we have a podcast as well. So it's called The Fan Morning Show. You can subscribe, download that anywhere you get your podcasts. Check us out if you miss it live because a lot of you guys don't catch all 4 hours. So that's definitely something you can do. And then my social handles are just Ailish Forfar, which is tough to find, but just, type it a couple times. It'll show up. English, Alicia, Eyelash. It'll show up there eventually. But yeah, thanks guys so much for having me. It was nice to see you, Steve. I miss our show. Maybe they'll bring it back because we had so much fun.
Maybe one day. They have to after watching this.
All right. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on. Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. That was Ailish Forfar. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends, and we will be back for second intermission.
Woo!
Three, two, one.
Oh, fella. How are we?
Ding, 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 ding. 14 seconds. That's a big clubhouse leaderboard right
Is
there.
it?
Well done.
I'll take it.
Early on, it's Jacob Chikrin.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Nice, well done. 15 seconds.
How close?
Oh, 16 seconds. So. 10 seconds. Oh, 17 seconds. Well done, Patrick. Well done.
Gotta work on the forearm strength a little bit.
Almost. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh,
record, 9 seconds.
Nice.
Back across. Oh, it's robbed by Furry twice.
Come on.
There we go. 19 seconds. 1-5. 30. There we go. Well done. 30 seconds. Way to get it done. 3, 2, 1, go. Top one. Nice job. 14 seconds. Good job, Will.
I should have rolled it right away.
Alright,
that's not
Oh, I had it too. More risk early. Yeah.
I
didn't figure it out.
How you get knocked down.
Oh.
Take it back up,
Yeah.
right? 3, 2, 1, go. Wow, that was impressive. 7 seconds.
Dylan Cousins.
Dylan Cousins, the workhorse from Whitehorse, but we don't care about him, do we? We care about the Toronto Maple Leafs, who have tied the game. Ailish Forfar, how good was she? She was the epitome of class. She just tried to power through it, and I wouldn't let her. What a great host I am. I guess embarrass themselves, and you're just like, nah, you don't get to gloss over that. It's kind of funny. So obviously Jordan Greenway gets his second goal of the season with less than half a minute to go in the first period. Then the Wild get a power play goal about 5 minutes in. Marcus Foligno scores less than 3 minutes later. It's 3-0. The game looks like it's getting away from the Leafs and fast, and it seems like they're having a bad second period. Would you believe me if I told you they outshot the Minnesota Wild 20-7? They outshot the Wild 20-7 in the second period after getting outshot 9-6. 2 power play goals, one from Jason Spezza and one from Austin Matthews. Spezza with a pair of goals. Riley with 3 assists. Spezza with 3 points. His 7th goals of the season. Matthews with 14. Stupid. Amazing. Spezza up to 11 points. God, I love this guy. Underrated. So he's played 12 games. He's played 1,200 games, but he's en route to 1,000. So I'm on his player page on MapleLeafs.com. He's got 978 points. I think with his 3 points tonight, that brings him up to 981 because that's not represented in the total. He doesn't play a ton, but he's got a shot at hitting 1,000 this season. That'll be definitely something to follow down the stretch. So I do want to bring something up and shout out to the fine production staff of Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click likes, click subscribe, tell all your friends. People were wondering about Marcus Foligno, who fought Wayne Simmons, and he came off the bench to do it, allegedly. But he just left, and he came back. Elliot Freeman tweeted out the rule. Here is the key rule with Marcus Foligno, because legal line change, no one came on for him, not automatic suspension, may be subject to discipline. So the rule is a player who has entered the game while play is in progress from his own player's bench or legally from the penalty bench, penalty time is expired, who starts an altercation may be subject to discipline in accordance with Rule 28, supplementary discipline. A player or players who have entered the game on a legal line change during a stoppage of play, who line up in preparation for the ensuing face-off, and who participate in an altercation shall be penalized under the appropriate rule and will be subject to discipline in accordance with Rule 28. Supplementary discipline, a game misconduct is not automatic in this situation unless provided for as a result of his actions in the altercation. To me, I don't think Marcus Foligno should be suspended here. I think that'd be a little overkill. I think Wayne Simmons would tell you the same thing, to be honest. And I feel like this isn't how the NHL operates, but I feel like his opinion on this should matter on account of he was the guy who got fought. It's not a big deal, guys. It's not a big deal. Let's not make a mountain out of a molehill. But in the meantime, goodness gracious, the Leafs are racing a 3-goal deficit. (3-3) heading into the third period. Would you like to know if I'm wearing pants? Are we going to play a little game called Is Steve Wearing Pants? I think we should. If this is your first stream, we always play a game at second intermission called Is Steve Wearing Pants? Because sometimes I'm wearing shorts, sometimes I'm wearing jeans, sometimes I'm wearing swim trunks, sometimes I'm wearing nothing at all. We have to pixelate that. Sometimes I'm wearing hockey pants. Does that count as shorts or pants? Leave a comment in the comment section or in the chat, everybody. Are hockey pants pants or are hockey pants shorts? That is the hockey is a hot dog a sandwich. I don't know if we're going to get the graphic, but I really did. I tried to stall. I really did. I thought yeah! Woo! Just like the Leafs. They took a while to show up, but when they did, it was big time, baby! Yeah! So, leave your guesses in the chitty chat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gray sweatpants season. Look at that. Look at that yam. Oh, I've been working on that. You want to see my lunges? I got a lot of spring in them. It's all my trainer. I see a trainer on FaceTime. It's all. It helps with the back. Helps with the back. He always tells me when my lunges got a lot of pop, that's how he knows I'm in a good place. And folks, they got some pop. All right. That was our fun little game. You know, Hockey Night in Canada has 32 thoughts. We have Is Steve Wearing Pants? We are the same. Let's see if we have some more questions here. Because we didn't we didn't get to everything for Ailish. This one's for Ailish, but I want to answer it anyway. Anthony said, question for Ailish, could Steve win an NHL faceoff? He claimed he could on SDP. So SDP is my podcast, SDPN. But, okay, what are the parameters? How many chances do I have? Like, okay, if you left me on Earth for 1,000 years, I couldn't beat Sidney Crosby in a game of one-on-one. But if given 1,000 attempts to win a face-off against Sidney Crosby, you can't tell me I wouldn't win at least one of them. One? What? I'm not going to accidentally win one? Come on. Come on. I mean, Ailish certainly could win a face-off. It would take her a lot fewer attempts, or she would have a much higher success rate. If given 1,000 attempts, could you beat Sidney Crosby in a face-off? Donnie asks, how's your kayak? It is still at my buddy's cottage. I don't have a roof rack. If you don't know the story, here it is. I don't have a roof rack. My buddy does. So, and I didn't have anywhere to store my kayak. So he took it up to the cottage, and I still don't have a roof rack, so it's essentially his kayak. Ellie, final score prediction. Oh, man. You know what? This game got stupid very fast, and I think the coaches are going to take a stranglehold on this game, and I think it's going to be a 4-3 finish. Whoever wins, I think it'll be a 4-3 finish. I could see 5-4, but if it is 5-4, it's going to be in overtime. I think the likelihood of this game going to overtime is decently high. And the rule, I don't know if we followed this rule. Have we had a game go to overtime? Anyway, if you watched our playoff streams, you'll know that the rule is if the game goes to overtime, I get to have a beer. That is the rule. It's my favorite one. We have many rules on Watch the Leafs Game with Steve Dangle, and that is mine. More questions before we get to the third period. NHL 20 LOL. Dude, they would just push you on skates. This isn't ball hockey. Okay. So you're saying, again, I have 1,000 attempts to win an NHL faceoff. You think I'm going to get pushed 1,000 times? Like, I'm bad on my skates, but I'm not stupid. If he does the same thing to me 50 consecutive times, I'm going to eventually figure out, hey, maybe I should move a little bit. I'm telling you, dude, the best face-off people, face-off takers, what do you call them? The best face-off artists in the NHL will still lose like 42% of their draws. You can't tell me if given the opportunity, I wouldn't win 1 out of 1,000. Mitch says, no chance you win one on skates. You guys suck. Constance says, are you a fan of Tim Biebs? Speaking of free advertising. I have not had them yet, but you've given me a great idea for the morning. Andrew, 3 stars of the game so far. Oh, man. Well, Spets has got to be number 1. Riley could potentially be in there because he's got the 3 points too. Who's having a good night on Minnesota? Let me see here. Eriksson Ek has 2 points. So maybe Eriksson Ek. Oh, Kaprizov got an assist. So Kaprizov has an assist and Foligno has a goal. I'm having a good night in fantasy. Oh, let's check. Let's check. Am I still winning? I better be. Oh, yeah. I got this in the bag. I got this in the bag. Who else is having a good night? Oh, Vasilevsky and Swayman are having very good nights. Wait, I lied. Vasilevsky's having a good night. Swayman is struggling. Oh, they're playing against each other. Well, that's why. They're my only 2 goalies. I had to start them both. As we begin the third period, a game that was once 3-0 for the Minnesota Wild is now tied at 3s. Can you believe it? I can, because Minnesota took a bunch of penalties. And the Leafs scored on 2. Oh, dear. What happened to you, Mr. Official? The Leafs scored 2 power play goals, which was not a thing that would happen last year, but their power play has actually been quite good this year. What's funny is I don't even know if it's been good. It's just been better than last year, which is a very low bar. Spezza doing a great job there, hustling. I think Spezza... Is Spezza on the top line? Is Simmons still in this game? Or is he on the 4th line? If it was announced on the broadcast, I wouldn't have heard it because I don't have the broadcast audio. Kate says, I'm disappointed we haven't seen any carrot muffins yet this season. So carrot muffins are what I would eat to get the Leafs to rally in the playoffs, and they actually worked with a high success rate. It's just in overtime they didn't work so good. I'm disappointed too, Kate, because my wife made those, and she has not made them. for quite some time.
He takes a run against Muzzin.
Icing.
Call against Toronto.
Leafs are quickly approaching doubling the Minnesota Wild up in shots here.
Keeping it alive, bunting, chips it back, and watch
Guys.
Matthews get caught in there, get lost on the backside as
I look
stop back
at
and
the like
both Bunting and
counter
Matthews were
on
there
this
for
video,
Carroll, able to get his stick
and I don't like it.
not allow anything to get through.
Click like, for goodness sake.
Victor Rask been the best Minnesota player.
Or Santa will leave a lump of coal in your stocking. Jack Campbell, stop that puck so that you can click like on this video. And click subscribe and tell all your friends. Ailish told all her friends. She had half of Aurora watching this thing. J.D. Bunkus, Blake Murphy, her parents. I'm sure several marketing reps from Miss Vicky's. That's the money she's betting with, by the way. If you're wondering where she's getting all this money to bet on sports, it's her secret. Oh, no! No! Big stop from Campbell. I don't know who cleared that rebound. Big block from Kasha. All right. I don't think we're going to be talking about Miss Vicky's very much. Oh! So much for the coaches getting a hold of this game. I think 5-4 is looking a lot more realistic than 4-3. Is that Simmons? That's Simmons. So he's still in the game. It just looks as though Spezza is on the top line. And, I mean, have yourself an evening there, Jason. 3 points in 2 periods. Actually, 3 points in, 7 minutes? Here's Morgan Riley with the Jets.
Pass out of the reach of Simmons. Minnesota will start back out. The veteran
Leafs getting at least a point here tonight would be huge, especially on a back-to-back. They were down 3-0. We don't know who's going to start tomorrow. Nice stop from Jack, who's looking nice and composed after a game that got pretty squirrely pretty fast. Oh, I think that was Dermott who cleared that. Hydrate. Poor Kasha. People talk about him being injury prone. He's had injury troubles in the past. I don't know if he's injury prone as much as he just kind of blocks a lot of shots, and that hurts to do. The Leafs had a 3-goal comeback offensive outburst without Mitch Marner, and 2 power play goals to boot. This is no small thing, what they're doing here. Muzzin's got to watch the hold there. Kaprizov is so dangerous. Really fun player to watch. Campbell's had some pretty juicy rebounds tonight. Justin Hall! Not having a great game. Did accidentally score on his own net. I think that was the Wild power play goal. I'm not actually blaming him for that as a fluke, but it's a bad bounce. John Tavares with a confident pass that he maybe shouldn't have done. What's happening in the corner there?
Good play for Campbell to hold on there.
Woo!
Greenway had already made a change for Kaprizov.
So much for the coaches getting a handle on this game. Lazy Stash Man, would the Avalanche be crazy to trade for Carey Price? Yes. I saw that. I don't know who suggested that. Where? How? How are they trading for a $10.5 million goalie? I will say this. I do think a Carey Price trade, I mean, we can't really talk about that on account of he hasn't even come back to the Habs lineup yet. But I think Marc Bergevin had an obvious allegiance to Carey Price for a wide variety of reasons. I mean, he signed him to that massive deal. But Jeff Gorton and whoever the Montreal Canadiens bring in to be their next general manager, they don't have the same allegiance to this player. So, I mean, I still think the chances of him getting dealt or any team trading for him, I still think it's rather low.
That puck getting deflected.
As the Leafs, I think, are heading to the penalty kill here. I think it's rather low, but whenever Mark Bergevin got fired, it increased. Morgan Rielly going to the box for the hold. He doesn't like it. Let's see it. Click like, click subscribe, tell all your friends.
Yeah, they're both kind of holding each other's, and that was
you know,
watch them both. They each have each other's stick right now. Eriksson Ek has his left hand on Rielly's stick.
Rielly was this camera angle didn't really show it. He was getting away with it, but when Eriksson Ek had a semi-legitimate chance of whacking the puck before Jack Campbell was able to glove it, that's when he got bit. So the ref let it go. I got a call. So big opportunity for the Minnesota Wild to get their lead back, and Jack Campbell swallows that up. But only 4 seconds into this power play, or rather I should say penalty kill for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Looking a little dangerous. Again, that was a rebound. Eriksson Ek having himself a night. He almost had point number 3 with a goal. All right, Leaf fans. Whoa, is that puck leave? I already told you I have Kaprizov and I have Foligno in my fantasy. They both have a point tonight. I don't need another one. Uh-oh. David Kampf, who would definitely be the center for a 5-on-3 penalty kill, is going to the box right now. And it was a high stick, and they showed it, and I didn't see it. I'd have to see it again. Oh, boy. So the Leafs have almost a full 5-on-3 to kill here. Who do they got on the face-off? Is that Kerfoot? With Hall and Muzzin. Kerfoot's stick broke, I think, probably conveniently. Almost definitely conveniently.
Maybe a little easier here for Kerfoot as Zuccarello hasn't taken.
Oh, man. It's a full 5-on-3 minus 12 seconds. Ooh.
Where he's 42% on the draw. Wild have won 5-on-3 goals so far this season.
We have questions from the chat, and I don't see myself getting to them for the next 2 minutes because the Leafs have a 5-on-3 penalty kill to kill here. As the Wild blow it, 90 seconds to go in this 2-man advantage. The Leafs have dealt with some adversity tonight, and this might be even bigger than the 3-goal deficit. 5-on-3 in the third period of a tied game. Tough scenario. Wild passing it around. Ooh! That was almost a wide open net for the Wild. They're looking for Eriksson Ek in the slot. They might get him. Oh boy. Jack Campbell. Woo! 46 seconds to go. In this 5-on-3 penalty kill, let's take a look. Oh, Zuccarello just couldn't corral that puck. If he does, it's curtains. Well, it's at very least a goal.
Just good positioning there. Kaprizov not getting the shot. Campbell able to hold on, and now a timeout to try to regroup.
Hydrate, it's a big moment.
Get something in the back of the net here for the Minnesota Wild.
So the Wild called the timeout. That will allow Sheldon Keefe to keep the 3 men out that he wants in Kerfoot, Hull, and Muzzin.
We got a timeout here. Exactly 14 minutes to go in regulation.
Competitive odds on all sports. Sports Interaction is Canada's odds maker.
Bill Guerin looking on. The current GM for the U.S. men's Olympic team, I believe.
Chris, I don't mind the timeout for
Zuccarello and Kaprizov.
Don't you feel
Zuccarello's telling Kaprizov, listen, you already got an assist tonight. Dangle doesn't need any more fantasy points. You can maybe just dump it down the ice. Don't worry about it. Okay. Okay, that sounds good. Look at these Leaf fans fighting the good fight. In enemy territory. Wild spread it out. Oh! Block from Kerfoot. I think it's been the same 3 guys out the whole time. Yeah, I can't be comfortable. Less than 30 seconds to go in this 2-man advantage. Remember, the Leafs will get a player back, but they'll still have, I think, 12 seconds to kill. Uh-oh. Wild breaking through. Puck behind the net. 17 seconds. 16. Wide open man. The Leafs bunching up a little bit. Side of the net for Hartman. Jack Campbell is spun around. Muzzin clears the puck from danger. Kerfoot almost clears it. That would have been dangerous. Leafs get a man back. Wild, wide. Leafs clear it. And they kill the thing off. Unbelievable. The mettle of this team tonight. Morgan Riley and David Kemp back on the ice for the Toronto Maple Leafs as Sheldon Keefe throws the cavalry out. Nylander, Matthews, and I assume Tavares. I just haven't seen him yet. Riley will stay out there because why not?
Goligoski there for Minnesota. Greenway in support. There's a funny hop, and
Oh!
Matthews swing and a miss.
The Leafs weren't able to hold it there. That's okay. Nothing wrong with getting this game under control a little bit.
And Kevin Fiala sends it down into the Leaf zone.
Penguins and Canucks next on Sportsnet, by the way. Any chance you have to watch Sidney Crosby, you have to. You might look at that and go, Penguins have been fine. Canucks have been whatever. Yeah, Sidney Crosby, bud. Woo! Jack Campbell gets him.
With Fiala on the doorstep.
What was an absolutely brutal game. Guys, I thought we were going to struggle through this stream. I really did. I thought we were going to struggle. What started as a brutal game, or turned into one, whoops, has turned into a barn burn. The Leafs erasing a 3-goal deficit. Spezza with the first 2 goals, second one on the power play, and then Matthews gets the Leafs' second power play goal of the game and 3rd goal of the game to tie the thing up. Leafs take a penalty in the 3rd. Oh no! Leafs take another penalty 12 seconds later. Oh no! They kill the whole thing off. And now with, what is it, about 11, 12 minutes to go, we still have a tie game here on the road in Minnesota. I got to tweet this. Watch the final minutes of the Leafs Wild game with me. Pew. Let's get to your questions. Cassidy, what's your go-to coffee order? It depends. I've actually... My rant just now wasn't a great example, but I've actually mostly switched to decaf. I have like 1 fully caffeinated coffee a day, maybe, these days. I have a lot of half calves now. Used to be a big double-double guy. And then I got older and my body's like, I don't know about this whole milk thing. So what I do this when I'm sick, but I've done it a lot more now, is I like to do coffee with honey. It's good for the voice. Or coffee with honey, and you're going to think this is gross, a little bit of coconut oil. Just a little. Stir it in real good, or you froth it. Problem is, if you let it get cold, you know how sometimes cold coffee can be okay? Yeah, cold coconut coffee is kind of gross. You got to have it hot. Jack Campbell gobbles it up. Man, the shots are, I think, 30-30 now, and I got to tell you,
That was really the start.
it feels like Jack Campbell has been a lot busier than Cam Talbot.
In that game, some just enormous
Maybe that's
saves
just
by
me.
Jack Campbell when the game was on the line, even in overtime, he was able to make two.
Astro, was that PK? I'll remember that moment in this game. Of course. Under 12 minutes to go. Shots 30 to 30. Goals 3 to 3. Oh my God, where's the puck? Jack Campbell's glove has gotten a workout in this game.
On a night of bad breaks, here's another one. A clearing pass.
Can I get a oof Maroon in the chat? I'm nervous. Shots are 15 to 4 this period. Goodness gracious, a 5-on-3 will do that to you.
In favor of Toronto, they're now 31.
Leafs 53 to 47. It'd be 54 if they let me take a face-off. Am I right? You know what I mean? Hmm. Oh, Drew, did you see the score in that Ottawa-Colorado game? You know Ottawa's in last place, right? Oof. Man, Colorado's bad. Sorry. What's it like to win a playoff round? Sorry, what's it like to win exactly one playoff round and never go farther? How am I able to chirp? I can't. You've seen your team win, what, 2 cups in your life? I have not. And Drew goes, yes, I do, Steve. What a windmill play there by Dermott, but the Leafs can't clear it. Where is it? They get it out. Oh, what a pass to Matthews from Spezza, who's on the top line now after Wayne Simmons started the game there. Simmons is still in the lineup. It's just Spezza has 3 points, and why wouldn't you try that? Okay, Jeremy says, I can't believe you're arguing over this in the chat in a 3-3 game in the third, but is chili soup?
That's the key. Just don't allow that pass to get down into your
Okay, here's a question. Is stew soup? I would say no. Stew is stew. Soup is soup. There's a certain viscosity that soup reaches, or a bowl of something reaches, where it's no longer soup. It's a viscosity and or a thickness. Soup has bits in it. Stew has chunks. And the liquid is like a gravy, almost, kind of. My mom used to make an amazing beef stew, and I'm thinking about it right now, and I want it. I want it really bad. Oh, we're in commercial break. Hey, watch the Leafs game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, for goodness sake. Click subscribe. Tell all your friends. Retweet this to everybody. Text it to everybody. Email it to everybody. Carrier pigeon it to everybody. We got about half a period to play in what has been maybe the most exciting stream that we've had so far this year. Yeah, egg. Is cereal soup then, Steve? Friggin' no. It's cereal. What's the... You can't just... There's no preparation. You just add the ingredients. Even canned soup, there was preparation. Even if it wasn't done by you. It was done before the soup was put in the can. It was put there by a man in a factory downtown. Ellie says, by your logic, hot chocolate with marshmallows is soup. No. Okay, is every drink soup? What if soup is hot chocolate? Ellie? Ms. Goulding? What if chicken noodle soup is just hot chocolate with none of the things that I mentioned? I get the point of these exercises. It's to get you to explain. Which I'm struggling with. And sorry, what distracted me right there is, you ever order something and you time it poorly? My food arrived 5 minutes ago, and it's just sort of getting cold out there. Is it soup? Well, it'll be an ice cube by the time I get to it. Hopefully the game doesn't go to overtime. Like, I'm going to miss, like, the go-ahead goal because you guys are asking me all these questions. Ghost, is porridge stew then, Steve? This viscosity argument is a bad take. You're a friggin' bad take, Ghost! First of all, P-O-U-R-I-D-G-E. That's how you spell porridge? Really? Who calls it porridge? Are you Mother Goose? Is this a nursery rhyme? Who has porridge?
So Chris, the last play before, Riley went down and Richie didn't quite see him and shot the
Are you
puck
Oliver
this time.
Twist?
Maybe a little communication after.
Are you
Richie
watching
tried
this
to get
game
the
from like a
entire
late
way.
1800s workhouse?
Hitting Simmons in front there, but Richie
If
had
you are, can you
good
say hello to
awareness.
my great-grandfather?
Gets lost, gets by his
Dark
man,
humor.
but unable to get the shot he wanted.
He was in a workhouse. Ah! Matthews almost scored. Jacob says, who's winning the heart? Jason Spezza. I'm glad you asked, Jacob. I mean, I suppose if you had to vote right now, it'd be Leon Draisaitl, but it's not to disparage Draisaitl. I'm just waiting for McDavid to take over there. Because he's Connor McDavid. Kind of feels silly not to. Oh boy. Kaprizov misses the net. Good. I would have been cool with the Wild getting shut out, even though I have 2 of them in my pool. I really love fantasy hockey and I like winning, but I like the Leafs winning more. That's what this season has proved to me. As less than 8 minutes to go. Sandin holds the line. Nylander's got to be a little harder there. Tavares holds the line. Exhausting shift for the Wild. Uh-oh. 38 hits 38. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Sandin on Hartman. Leafs doing a really good job retrieving pucks. Matthews to Spezza, who's been unbelievable in this game. As Cam Talbot covers it up with 7:18 to go. Leafs, Wild. Tied at 3s here in the third. I got to tell you, Justin Hall's not having a great game, but I really appreciate the battle.
Pass by Spezza, unable to get it, but another good example of taking care of one end. Ends up with the
sometimes you see players with like a sad puppy dog look. And Justin Hall he's battling. You're not going to be great every night. And you know, you might be saying, well, he's not great most nights this season, and maybe you're right. But you're not going to be great every night, and he's battling. Leafs got to support the front of the net here. Minnesota with an opportunity. They got the puck in the offensive zone. Someone blew a tire. Puck doesn't get through. Maybe it didn't. Campbell stopped it. It was hard to tell. Leafs still with the lead in offensive zone time, but not by much. Leafs just looking to clear it, and they do. Icing. 6:21 to go in the third period. 3-3. Oh, The Beijing Olympics are from February 4th to February 20th, which I learned for the first time just now. I didn't bother to look it up because I knew it was in February. And now I know. Boom. Ah! Puck goes wide. Ah!
Couple close calls there off a face-off win.
Leafs clear it again, and this will be ice again. Merrill kind of dogged it a bit. Spets is going to have to get back out there. I know Minnesota used their timeout, and I wonder if the Leafs used theirs here. Are you allowed to use your timeout on icing? Kind of feels like you shouldn't be allowed. Spezza with the big face-off win. Okay, I couldn't beat Spezza if you gave me 1,000 chances, but anyone else I could. Confident. Oh, covers it up.
Causing a commotion in front and getting attention once again as he's cleared away.
Looks like we're heading to a commercial break here. Oh, baby. Pitlick with a shot, and Campbell, who's been allowing these little half rebounds all game, is able to cover it up. Wow, wow, wow. Here is your chance. Might be your last chance of the game. The next break that we might have in this game is the final buzzer. So I need you to click like. I need you to click subscribe, and I need you to tell all your friends. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle here on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. We're here every single Saturday that the Leafs play. And what a night. Pretty even game until Minnesota scores. Jordan Greenway, to be specific. With less than 30 seconds to go in the first period. Second period starts, Minnesota goes to work. They go on the power play. Matt Zuccarello scores. Less than 3 minutes later, Marcus Foligno scores. And the game is getting out of hand fast. Then Jason Spezza gets one. Leafs 3-1. Leafs get a power play. Spezza gets another one. 3-2. Leafs go to the power play again. Matthews scores again after getting a hat trick last game, and they tie this game up at 3, and that's how we head to the third period. But wait. Leafs take a penalty. That's not good. 12 seconds in. Wait. They take another penalty. That's even worse. And it's David Kampf. It's a nightmare scenario. Leafs kill the whole thing off and keep the game tied at 3, which brings us to now. This very moment. Leafs Wild in Minnesota. 5:38 to go. Who is it going to be? I ordered food. I timed it very poorly. It's getting cold out on my front step. And if this game goes to overtime, it'll get even colder. But if that's what it takes to decide a winner in this game, then that is what it takes. I think the Leafs just avoided icing there as the third line goes on the attack.
Can't get loose at center. And a pass off the skate of Kampf, trying to charge in.
David Kampf bobbles it, battles. Bit of a pinch from Muzzin. Almost a trip. They're not going to call that at this stage in the game. Leafs hold the line. No, they don't. Offside.
The fact, even though you've got the dangerous
Andrew said, Steve, go get your food. I was not going to leave. What? I'm not going to leave during a commercial break to go get my food. I got to entertain the masses. You ever see Elliot Friedman leave Hockey Night in Canada to go get his food? Ron McLean will be right back after I go and get my Popeyes. So if the no.
In this third period, not a lot of the third pair.
That's a battle. I don't think that was a penalty. That's a battle. Leafs second line, sort of first line. Attacking. What is that?
Kerfoot got hooked down there by Sturm.
Nothing, apparently.
Now Nylander trying to get away from Bukestad in front.
We're getting some playoff-style officiating. John Tavares almost giving the Leafs the go-ahead. 4:20 to go. Nice.
That one wide of the net. Tavares centers it. Kerfoot
The teams have... Damn! I was about to say that there was 4:20 to go, and the teams had a combined 69 shots. But Tavares ruined it and made it 70.
Tavares up ahead for Simmons. The Leafs changing.
I didn't mean to shout. Damn. But I saw the 34 turn into a 35, and I got very sad. I can count. I'm good at counting. Man, what a game. What a game. That's the thing with these streams. I know we're always going to have fun, but you never know what the game is going to give you. Sometimes the Leafs lose 7-1 to the Penguins. You never know. Other times you get this. Whoa! Chaos in front. Wayne Simmons standing there. Matthews gets it to the point. He gets it back on the rebound. What a pass to Simmons, but he can't get the puck through. Leafs going to have to recover here. They hold the line. Jake Muzzin. Into the corner for Ritchie. So it looks like they're double shifting Matthews here on the fourth line. Because Spezza, I guess, is up on the first. I imagine the next line over the boards is Tavares, Kerfoot, Nylander. And then the next line after that is probably going to be Matthews with Spezza and Bunting. Unless the puck is in the Leaf zone, then they're going to want to get the third line out there. Oh! Tavares hit the bar! Tavares! No!
Fairly tired line for the Minnesota Wild.
Holly said, Steve, pay the extra money and have your meal delivered to your blue room. No. I don't want someone coming in my house. I have a microwave. 2:50 to go. 70 shots on goal in the books. And not one of them, as of yet, is a game winner. 3-3. 2:50 to go in the third. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle, and this is a heck of a Leaf game. William Nylander off the draw. Kerfoot battling in the corner. Passes it to no one, but he goes and hustles. Wild clear the zone. Is this going to be an icing? No, it is not. TJ Brody around, hard around. Is this going to be icing? No, it is not. The Wild collected. It's in the neutral zone. The tighter the game is late, the more I just turn into the play-by-play guy. Tavares stops up. Great play to Spezza. Spezza in front. To no avail. 2:12 to go in the third period. Spezza with the steal. Gets the puck into the offensive zone. Bunting drops it for Matthews. Shoots. Talbot with the save.
Great work by Jason Spezza. Might be his best game of the season.
A kick. The Wild can't clear it, but they're about to. And they do. They use the air to do it, and Rasmus Sandin's got to be a little careful there, but he works it back to Dermott. Less than 2 minutes to go in this game. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle. I'm Steve Dangle. Click like, click subscribe. Tell all your friends. I'm going to say it until I can't say it no more. Oh boy, the Wild breakthrough. Jack Campbell smothers it with 1:28 to go in the third period. We are 88 seconds away from overtime, or less than 88 seconds away from heartbreak. Either for a home team who once had a 3-0 lead, or for a road team that found a way to storm all the way back. Shots 37-36, in case anyone thought Jack Campbell was playing tomorrow. No. That'll be one of Wall or Hutchinson. I don't care who. All I care is that it's not Jack. Let that poor man rest. Puck is in the Leaf zone. 88 seconds to go here. 1:28. Leafs with 7 wins by 1 goal, which is tied for second in the NHL. That's a neat little stat. David Kampf off the draw. He's been so good there. There's another guy I'm not sure I could beat if given 1,000 opportunities. Justin Hall digging the puck out of the corner. Cannot get it to his partner, Jake Muzzin. Leafs now in a bit of a panic. Leafs win the numbers game, but can they clear it? No, they cannot. Hall's got to go and get this. Can he clear it now? No, he cannot. Can he clear it now? Yes, he can. Leafs third line on the ice. Kasha, Engvall, Kampf. They're probably going to want to get one of the Tavares line or the Matthews line out there. Leafs turn it over. Kaprizov chasing after it behind the Leafs net. Passes it around. Hartman. He's had an eventful game. Kerfoot digs it out. He's had a dogged game. Underrated season this guy is having. Leafs almost get picked off, but they don't. Riley dumps it in. Less than 30 seconds to go in the third period of this game. Still tied 3-3. We are now 20 seconds away from overtime or from heartbreak. Marcus Foligno crashes net. Stopped by Jack Campbell. And Campbell's slow to get up, and so is Foligno. I don't see a penalty call on the play. 5, 4, 3, wild breakthrough. 2, another stop by Campbell. 1, Campbell sprawling. Holy mackerel. The Leafs hold on for overtime. Foligno crashes the net, and it looks like he beamed Campbell right in the head. Yep. Campbell was uncomfortable, and he fought his way through that play. Potentially dazed, and he still makes the save. It'll be interesting to see if Campbell plays overtime here. Looks like he's staying on the ice.
Enjoy Canadian farm raised season chicken and any subs,
Okay.
salad, or
Okay. What a game. What a game. So both teams get a point. They're both happy. Leafs in the West, Wild in the East. They don't care. Yeah, Campbell's smiling.
And, you know, there's a split-second decision. You look and say, okay, do you play like you got hit
Sheldon
hard
Keefe looking
and
nervous.
try to
And
draw back?
listen, bro, I get it.
Instead, he just had to try to regroup and handle himself. He got hit right in the head.
Now, let's say Foligno scores there.
You know, you might have
Is
to
that not
go
goalie
touch
interference?
protocol if he actually is
Does
hurt.
that goal
I can't
count?
believe
Is there any
nobody
chance it counts?
touched Foligno, and there's clear
Like,
contact
he
to the head.
goes
That's just
straight
a
through the
penalty.
blue paint.
He doesn't make
He
that
is not pushed, as far as I can
in
tell.
my opinion, should be on the power play in that. Oh yeah, right in his crease.
I mean, why is that?
Touch from behind.
Why is that not goalie
That
interference?
one's a missed call that I think
What does
Sheldon
Jack
Keefe
Campbell do
would like
wrong
to be
there?
Still talking to the official about right now.
I think that's what Keefe is saying right now. He hits him right in the head. Oh, Drew says go get your beverage. Shoot, I forgot about the beer. I don't know if I have time. I don't think I have time. I don't think I have time.
You mentioned the game that it all started for the Toronto Maple Leafs on this hot start, and it was William Nylander in Chicago in overtime. Matthews and
I'm back.
Nylander. We've seen a lot of Tavares and Nylander as they were playing together. But
My dog is looking at me,
Sheldon Keefe is start
thinking someone broke into the house.
Nylander, see if you can end this thing quickly.
There you go.
Up against Eriksson, Kaprizov,
Oh,
and Brodin.
okay.
Matthews, Nylander, Ryan.
Here we are. Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle.
Moraes
I'm
for
Steve Dangle.
Kaprizov,
Leafs.
and here he comes.
Wild. Overtime.
Kaprizov shot off Riley. In behind
Kaprizov with an opportunity there.
Nylander for a moment,
Wide.
and it bounces back out to
Man,
center.
did I give her on that run to the beer fridge.
Minnesota.
I am out of breath.
And now Kaprizov stumbles.
Oh, Kaprizov upended a little bit, but he gets back to his feet. No call.
Got it back. Leafs got caught on a
Wild with a breakaway. Jack Campbell going to go out to challenge it.
wide open
And he
lane
does.
to the net and could
I don't know if
not
that
catch
goes
up
over the
to
glass or into the bench.
Lead, though, by Campbell. He got
Hopefully into the bench.
You're right. Ordine can't believe
The broadcast was apparently saying it definitely should have been a penalty because he lost the puck and didn't control himself. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that goes straight into the bench.
So it's not a penalty, but a really
covering up the branding.
read by Campbell to get that puck out.
Drew always tells me to put it in a red Solo Cup, but I didn't have time. I had to think very fast. Kerfoot coming in. Decides to go around the net. There's that dangerous little crisscross. Sandin goes for the pinch. Kerfoot playing defense, but he's not. Oh, boy. Very close, but Campbell with the stop. Sandin. Kerfoot looking for the change here. Leafs have to be careful, so Sandin will go back. Tavares stays out there. He stays out there. He's out there with Bunting. Gets the puck back. Back to Muzzin. This is not the most fleet of foot trio out there right now, and Muzzin crashes the net. Tavares with a very smart line change there. Bunting almost getting the hooking call. Who's this out there? Kasha is out there now. It's Kasha, Bunting, and Muzzin. Leafs flat at the line. Muzzin can't get it through. Muzzin heading off. I love Jake Muzzin. Not my ideal candidate for 3-on-3. Here comes Austin Matthews out there with Andre Kasha as his forward partner. Morgan Riley taking over as the Leafs lone defender. We are 2 minutes deep into this overtime period.
Great job of not overplaying, not playing the puck, just took the body.
Now it's Kaprizov on the backhand.
Oh, Kaprizov again. Drew said, I've never seen you move that fast. Just imagine if it was a playoff game, buddy. I can't believe I didn't miss any time. And overtime, here we go! Morgan Riley tips it on! Stop by Cam Talbot. 2:25 to go. In overtimes, we do beers. Here on Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. Oh, on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. The more you click like and the more you click subscribe and tell all your friends, the less I tell you to do it. Oh, that was just out of Riley's reach. He didn't completely commit, I think, because he was worried about getting caught. This is Tavares out there with Engvall and Sandin. Sandin directing traffic. Kaprizov, oh. Would have got me a lot of fantasy points, but I want the Leafs to win more than that. So, wow, bump into each other at the bench. This could be something. Leafs don't quite have the legs for it. Sandin attacking. Engvall's got to be smart here at the back. Oh, it sneaks behind Talbot, but doesn't go in. Wild with a bit of a 3-on-2 here. Looks like it's going to fizzle. There's got to be smart. Tavares has to be on his man, and he is. God, Engvall's huge. Whoa! Sandin not doing a great job counting. Campbell with the stop, and thank goodness the Leafs were all spun around there. And now with the defensive zone draw, I wonder who they're going to throw out there. Oh, Kaprizov hit the post. I wonder who the Leafs are going to throw out there for the defensive zone draw. I don't believe we've seen Camp. Matthews and Spezza, which is a very smart combo, both good on the draws. Leafs don't win it, though. Spezza, dogged. Him getting a hat trick would, I think, well, it would blow the roof off of this stream. Not that building, though. Oh, no! Ooh, loses the handle. Leafs still alive. Jason Spezza on the attack. Just over a minute to go in this overtime. It's a partial 2-on-1. Spezza cutting to the middle. High sticks. No, we do have a call. We do have a call. The Leafs will get a 4-on-3 power play
for the Minnesota Wild. The puck battle
For the remainder of this overtime, no matter what happens. I don't know if Spezza got high-sticked or slashed.
Makes the first save and then gets some help there by Morgan Riley. A stop up.
Oh, slash right.
No kidding, you hear the reaction.
Right on like the wrist bone.
Okay, a little slash there.
It doesn't look like much, but it's like right between the elbow pad. And, yeah, he's going straight off. That's not good. It doesn't look like much, but right above the glove and right below the elbow pad. What are you smirking at? What are you smirking at? Shut up. Shut up. That's a player with 1,200 games under his belt, and you're smiling. Shut up. Shut up with your face. I know you're not saying anything, but shut. Tell your eyes to shut up and tell your face to shut up. Yeah, that's... Those sting, man. It doesn't take much. Shut up! Dean. What's your name? Dean? You look like the bad guy from that toy movie that came out shortly after Toy Story, and it was kind of a ripoff, but it was also good. What was it called? Toy Soldiers? Anyway, Leafs to the power play with under a minute to go in this overtime. Matthews trying to get it to Nylander, and he can't. The Wild clear the zone. 45 seconds to go. Shots 41-40. Both teams just throwing the kitchen sink at each other. Two of the top 10 teams in the entire NHL. Two of the top 6 teams in the entire NHL. The Wild are going to get a 2-on-1 here, shorthanded. And the puck goes out of play. 29.9 seconds to go. Producer Drew sending me a gif of someone diving. Shut up. You shut up too. List of people who should shut up. Dean Evison, shut up. Producer Drew, shut up. Bill Guerin, shut up. Who's taking the face off? Who's number 7? Shut up. All right, less than 30 seconds to go. The Leafs with a 4-on-3 power play here in overtime. Whoever scores next wins. I don't know if you know how overtime works, but that's how it works. John Tavares with the puck. Works it back to Morgan Riley. Nylander out there with Matthews and Tavares. Oh! Oh, Nylander hits the side of the net, and the Leafs got to scurry back again. Matthews, what are you doing, bud? Luckily, the Wild screw up the pass, and we are going to a shootout. I think this is the first ever shootout in Watch a Leafs game with Steve Dangle history. Oh, no, Nylander gets the post. I don't even think it was the side of the net. Maybe it was just a save from Talbot. Kind of hard to tell, but it's a game of inches and centimeters. Is Evison seriously still complaining about this? It's Jason Spezza. Go away.
Canucks on a 2-game win streak. Penguins trying to snap a 3-game slide. Guests on After Hours this week. Thatcher Demko,
what was the movie called? Was it Toy Soldiers? I gotta look it up.
Former Sportsnet colleague Brian Burke joined Scott Oak and
Toy Soldiers. Yeah, it was Toy. No, 1991. No, that's not the movie. Someone in the chat knows the movie. It might just be called Toys. Who are your 3 shooters if you coach the Leafs? Oh, well, I would have had Spezza out there. Nylander, Matthews, and Tavares. I can't really go wrong with those 3, can I? Not in that order. I think I'd have Matthews first. Maybe then Tavares, then Willie. Zuccarello, what a move from Matt Zuccarello to put the Wild up 1-0 in this shootout.
When you make this kind of a hard move and you get the goaltender to go down and slide, you know you got him. Good patience by Zuccarello.
Who's up first? Andre Kasha, I believe his first ever shootout attempt as a Toronto Maple Leaf. I'm interested to see what he's got. By the way, the movie is Small Soldiers, according to the chat. It's good flim. Andre Kasha works in. Oh, tries to go forehand, backhand. Does not score on Cam Talbot.
Shot so often you try to fake the shot to the glove side to get the
Oh, not far away either.
and just a little bit too much speed, wasn't able to get it across and around the blocker on Talbot.
Kevin Fiala, the next shooter for the Minnesota Wild. The Leafs once down 3-0 in this game, now down 1-0 in the shootout. Kevin Fiala shoots stopped by the glove of Jack Campbell. Fiala just stops up and rips the thing. Campbell equal to it. Rah! Big stop. Campbell giving him a little stare down too. Here's Austin Matthews shooting second against Cam Talbot. Did he score? Yes, he did. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. I couldn't tell because I don't have the broadcast, and Talbot was in the net. There you. Oh my God, what a goal! Kasha looking on like that's what I meant to do. Kirill Kaprizov with the shootout tied. Works in. Oh! Lifts it up and over Jack Campbell. I think Campbell got a piece of this. Oh, he goes for the poke check. He's a little too late, and he does get a piece of it, but not enough. So the game is on William Nylander's stick. If he scores, it's tied, and we continue. If he doesn't score, the game is over. Shoots, stopped by Cam Talbot, and the Minnesota Wild blowing a 3-goal lead on home ice. But the fans leave happy, seeing a win, and the Wild leave happy with 2 points. Leafs lose 4-3 in the shootout to the Minnesota Wild, and tomorrow night they play the Winnipeg Jets. Big win for the Minnesota Wild. The Leafs do stay ahead of the Wild in the standings with the 1 point. For anyone that cares. What a game. I do got to say, what a game. It's a shame if you're a Leaf fan the way it ended. But we just watched the Leafs erase a 3-goal deficit. Forced the game to overtime. Power play in overtime. There was a shootout. The food on my porch is just a block of ice at this point. Leafs lose a tough and hard-fought one, but they do get a point in a game where they probably didn't deserve one. Not a lot of games where you're down 3-0 and leave the game with a point. Now, I know what you're saying to yourself, Steve. The Florida Panthers did that earlier this week. They were down 3-0 and they won a game 7-4. Yeah, against the Sabres. It's not the same. Chat. Please click like. Please click subscribe. Tell all your friends. We will be back next Saturday. Let's end with a little bit of love for the chat. Hoot says, why do we still do shootouts? Continuous overtime, so much better. I mean, you can't do continuous for TV reasons, but also, like, after 10 minutes, you can't tell me that 99%. Realistically, in the chat, if we went to 10 minutes of 3-on-3, what percent of overtimes would be done by the end of those 10 minutes? My bet is, honest to goodness, at least 75. At least 75% of overtimes would end in overtime if it was 10 minutes of 3-on-3. I don't know. I don't think you don't want to be that fan who complains about the shootout when your team loses in the shootout. That's why in my LFR videos, my Leafs fan reaction videos, whenever I want to rant about how much I hate the shootout, I wait until the Leafs win in the shootout. Then I complain about it because it means more. They won, they got 2 points, and I still hate it. You know what I mean? And the last question from the chat is not a question, it's a demand. Irene says, go get your food, Steve. Irene, I will. So, that is it for this edition of Watch a Leafs Game with Steve Dangle. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Hat Picks merchandise, Dangit's merchandise, all the merchandise. Visit shopsportsnet.store. And the Leafs take on the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow night, escaping Minnesota with a point.